Anthem has been sung, lineups have been announced, and we're ready for baseball here from historic Bosse Field in Evansville, Indiana. Without further ado, I want to remind you that Evansville Otters baseball on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports is presented by Working Distributors. Our thanks to Working Distributors. They were one of the game day sponsors for last night's planned game, actually. Upset that we weren't able to have them join us here for actual baseball, but we are thankful for their year-long sponsorship. There he is, the kid, Brett Adcock, taking to the mound this evening for the Evansville Otters. 6'1", 250 lefty. The only lefty in this entire pitching staff of the Otters will look to continue what has been a very strong run of baseball in his last few opportunities. His last game was against Sussex County. Though he did give up 4 runs, only 3 were earned in his 7 full innings. He was fun to watch in that game. Prior to that, though, in his game against Washington, he gave up just 1 run on 7 hits as the Otters got a win against that Washington team. Keep an eye out for Brett Adcock. This is a big game for him. Number 10 of the year, and if he can clock enough innings, he would be among the league leaders and finally get to be recognized for that 2.59 ERA. Let's meet the men on the other side that he's going to be facing this evening for this Tri-City ValleyCats team. Cito Culver is the one who kicks things off. Brantley Bell, who has one of the best RBI and batting average numbers in this entire league, bats second. Pavan Parks is third. Dennis Phipps, who is the best RBI man in the entire Frontier League, batting in the cleanup spot and playing DH. Brad Zunica playing first. Joey Campagna at catcher in sixth. Jesus Ujuano is batting seventh in center. Carson Mccuster batting eighth, playing right field. Jace Mercer rounds out the starting 9 and playing second base. So the lefty, Brett Adcock, readies himself up on the bump, and we're ready for baseball here from Evansville, Indiana, after a night off last night due to some wet field conditions. And at 6:42, we've got a first pitch home that's fouled off to the right side, and we are playing baseball for a 80 degrees first pitch. If you weren't aware, this game was actually delayed just a little bit due to a special fast painter on the field who was doing a Gil Hodges piece, as tonight the Otters are recognizing Gil Hodges for his induction into the Hall of Fame last week. Did a speed painting out there in front of the mound, so that's put us behind just a little bit. Hard driven ball towards right field. Baez is going back towards the wall. It's gone. 3 pitches into this game, and Tri-City doing what they do best, hitting balls over the fence. It's quickly 1-0 ValleyCats. Just like that, the Frontier League's top home run hitting team has already hit one in this game in this ballpark.
Batting second in left field, 9, Brantley Bell.
Absolutely not the way the Otters wanted to see this one start. So Brantley Bell, who enters the game with the Frontier League's 3rd best batting average, waits on his first pitch. It's way inside, and he's hit on the inside of the left knee. And just like that, the first 2 have already made their way on or around the bases.
Batting third baseman 13, Pavan Parks.
So that'll bring up Pavan Parks. With nobody out, a runner on, and ValleyCats already leading by a run. Pavan Parks was actually drafted 2 separate times. Once in 2018 by the San Diego Padres. Decided to wait a year, continue his career at Kent State University. Was then drafted in the 36th round in the 2019 draft by the Detroit Tigers. Spent just 1 year in the Detroit Rookie Leagues before falling down to the Pioneer League and now the Frontier League. Has his count evened up at 1-1 after the called strike 1. Runner at first is Brantley Bell. He's got himself a healthy lead over there. Adcock fires home. It's driven out towards right center field. Miles Gordon going back towards the wall, at the wall, gone. Another home run here in the top of the first inning. This one good for 2 runs. And just like that, it is 3-0 Tri-City. Kind of what we expected out of this team. We knew they were a powerful home run hitting team, but to do it twice in the first inning, probably not expected by the Otters.
Phipps.
3-0. The lead now for Tri-City here in the top half of the first. Adcock just looking for his first out of the game. First pitch is high towards Dennis Phipps, who entering tonight's game is the leader in RBIs in this league, 63 of them. A 1-0, looks good, but must have stayed a bit high. Now Adcock's down by a couple. With that second home run, the ValleyCats' next one will be good for number 100 on the season. Got 99 at this point. Hefty swinging strike one has Adcock a little bit closer in the count, 2-1. Bases are empty, as is the outs category. The 2-1. Another ball stays just a bit high, takes the count to 3-1. 3-1 the count to Dennis Phipps. Pitch comes home inside, ball 4. And Phipps is going to earn himself a free base. So here's how it's gone thus far. A home run, then a hit by pitch, then a 2-run home run, now a walk. And Adcock is still looking for that elusive first out. Going to bring up Brad Zunica, the first baseman, who enters the game with a .298 batting average. He's cranked 13 home runs on the year. First pitch is fouled off to the left side, was just a bit ahead of that one.
Perfect ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best, never regret it.
A little bit of a wait here before the 0-1. It's again fouled off to that left side. Chasing that way is Davis towards the warning track, and it drops just in front of him. He ends up on the rainfly tent. Want to walk you around the Otters' defensive alignment this evening. Brian Rosario out there in left field, Miles Gordon in center, Jeffrey Baez in right field. Across the infield, J.R. Davis at third, Andy Armstrong at short, Tyler Dones playing second, Steven Sinsley at first, and Justin Felix is behind the plate. The 0-2 to Brad Zunica. Low inside, the throw out to second, looks good and is good. Justin Felix gets himself another caught stealing. Felix thought it was a strike him out, throw him out. He thought the pitch was across the plate, but the home plate umpire, Tyler Thurman, said no, it was inside. But the caught stealing certainly helps the Otters at least grab themselves an out. We'll try again on the 1-2 to Brad Zunica. That one works a bit too far outside, count evens up. Beautiful crowd on hand for a Friday night, Gil Hodges night here at the Otters. 2-2 to Zunica, again, too far outside. And Adcock just trying to get himself these couple of outs to get out of the inning. Make life a little easier on himself. We'll try it on the 3-2, and it's fouled off towards the netting. We'll end up near the dugout of this Tri-City team. The 3-2, again, fouled off to that left side.
That overhead foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best, never regret it.
Defense spread out, straight up all the way around on a 3-2 to Zunica again. Swinging strike 3. And the kid has himself his first German-American Bank strikeout of the day.
Batting sixth,
That will bring up Joey Campagna. If that name sounds a little familiar, it's because the Otters have seen him already this year. Started the season with Trois-Rivières. He was part of that team when the Otters were north of the border up there in May. Had a .240 batting average in his 35 games with the Eagles. Was then sent to Tri-City, where he's now clocked 13 games. And with Tri-City has an average of .279. 0-1, headed towards him, stays up high and evens the count at 1 ball, 1 strike. Just like usual, Brett Adcock rocking the bright red glove. Let's try it on the 1-1. That one's good for a called strike right near the elbows. That's a pitch that Adcock did not get earlier in this inning and is now starting to pick up a little bit more. Try it on the 1-2. It stays too far inside. Two balls, 2 strikes to Campagna. Pushed out towards the right side in foul territory. It will get out of play.
Overhead ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best, never regret.
2-2 is still the count. Joey Campagna with 2 outs and nobody on. Pitch on the way. Swinging, strike 3. And it's back-to-back German American Bank strikeouts to end the half inning. But not before Tri-City takes a 3-0 lead on 2 separate home runs here in the first. We've played 1 half. It's Tri-City 3, Evansville coming up to bat. To the bottom half of the first we go, and the Otters are going to have to start off from behind. They'll look to do it all against Austin Faith, the starting man for these ValleyCats this evening. Stands 6'6" up there on the bump on the season, carrying an 0-1 record. He hasn't made any starts yet. Those are just 5 appearances, and his ERA is north of 8.0. The men he's going to face for the Otters this evening, headlined by the Edward Jones leadoff hitter of the game, Miles Gordon, playing center field, J.R. Davis playing third, Steven Sinsley playing first. Middle 3 of Baez, Bierman, and Felix before Brian Rosario, Andy Armstrong, and Tyler Dones round up the starting 9. First pitch home to the Edward Jones leadoff hitter of the game, Miles Gordon, low outside, ball 1. Otters already trailing in this game after a couple of early home runs. 1-0 coming home to Miles Gordon. Called strike 1, evens up his count. 1 ball, 1 strike. Miles Gordon entering the game with a batting average of .281, fallen down a little bit in his last couple of weeks. A 1-1 outside. Ball 2.
Don't cross those lines. Don't cross those lines. Right here.
In the last 10 games, Miles Gordon is batting at a .325 average. Got himself the most hits on the team in those last 10. Skies a ball out towards right center field. Chasing it is Mccuster. A lot of bodies there, and it is Mccuster who does bring it in for out number 1. So that will bring up the third baseman, J.R. Davis. Another Otter who has found himself struggling a little bit. .274 on the average now. But recently he's at a .237 mark, picking up 9 hits in his last 9 games. First pitch home for J.R. Davis is a called strike right down the middle. Beautiful crowd on hand here tonight at historic Bosse Field. 0-1 to Davis. Swinging strike 2. He reached out over the plate for that one. If you missed it earlier, it is Gil Hodges night, celebrating the newly inducted Baseball Hall of Famer. There was mini busts given out at the gates, and then they had a speed painter right before the game paint a mural of it. 0-2 to Davis. The pitch is fouled back into the netting. And after it bounced into the netting, it went towards the dugout, where standing right there at the edge is Evansville Otters catcher Dakota Phillips, who's spending some time with the team this week. Arm is still in a brace, but he's been able to throw and stretch and do workouts with the team. So it's good to see him working back towards potentially getting back in this lineup. 0-2 to Davis. Sent hard on the ground towards Mercer at second. He'll play it on 2 hops. The throw to first beats Davis for out number 2. So after giving up 4 straight members getting on in the top half of the first, the Otters cannot get either of their first 2 on. And we'll now ask Steven Sinsley to keep life alive here in this bottom of the first. You can see him there on your screen behind Sinsley. Boots Day manning first base this evening. First pitch home to Sinsley is in and out of the glove of Campagna. It was outside for ball 1. Just like usual, though, Andy McCauley manning the third base coaching side like usual. Defense has a bit of a shift to the right side in the infield, bit to the outfield in the left side. 1-0 stays outside. Sinsley finds himself ahead 2-0 in the count. Here's a good view of Boots. Made his way over here to attend, I believe, his first regular season Otters game here at home. He's been at all of the Otters games at Gateway, with him residing in St. Louis now. 2-0 to Sinsley stays high for ball 3. Really puts him in the driver's seat of this at-bat. A little bit of a breeze this evening is blowing out towards the Corona patio deck out there in right center field. Might have helped those home runs a little bit. 3-0 to Sinsley, taken for ball 4. He thought for sure he was going to get a called strike on the high outside corner, but it is left alone for ball 4. 4-pitch walk gives Sinsley first base for 3-0. So that'll mean that with 2 outs and a runner on, Jeffrey Baez is going to get an opportunity as the cleanup hitter. Baez is sitting pretty with a .267 average. It'd be great to see him keep this little run alive for the Otters. First pitch home is a called strike on the higher side of the zone. Baez playing right field this evening as it's a routine night off for Elijah McNamee. And because of that, Baez is playing right, Brian Rosario playing left. 0-1 coming home to Baez. Works its way outside a little bit. The count evens up at 1-1 strike. If Baez can find a way on, Zach Bierman stands in the on-deck circle. A check over to first for Austin Faith as he fires home on the 1-1. Big hanging curve that was swung right through by Baez. Nice movement and location on that pitch by Austin Faith. One ball, two strikes. Baez going to have to get a little bit defensive there at the plate. He's got a runner at first, 2 outs. And the 1-2 comes home. Stays high for ball 2, and the deuces are wild. With tonight's game, the Otters have now faced every single team in the Frontier League this year. Even more impressive is they have a win against every single team this year. 2-2, Tobias. Hit sharply towards Parks at third. He'll play it on 2 hops. The throw to first just barely beats Baez, and the first inning will end. Tri-City still holding on to a 3-0 lead. We head to the second right after this on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Well, in our pregame festivities, we had a speed painter putting together a nice looking mural of Gil Hodges to celebrate Gil Hodges night. Mini bus given away for Gil Hodges as well this evening as the Otters help celebrate his induction into the Hall of Fame last week.
EJ Harmon, congratulations. You're tonight's winner.
Brett Adcock and the Otters return to the field of play, hoping for a more favorable inning after a tough top half of the first, where they gave up 3 runs on 2 hits, those 2 hits both being home runs to the best home running team in this league, the Tri-City ValleyCats. So the defense sets up for Jesus Lujono. First pitch is cranked to right field. Baez back towards the wall. Gone. Home run number 100 for the Tri-City ValleyCats comes here in the second inning. Very hard hit ball by Lujono to raise the lead to 4-0 Tri-City. Certainly when it rains, it pours right now for the Otters.
Batting eighth in right field, 33, Carson Mccuster.
Carson Mccuster makes his way to the plate now. The right fielder batting .245 on the season. Both innings have started with leadoff home runs. First pitch home is sent high and mid-deep to center. Gordon working towards it in right center field and brings it in for out number 1. The balls are getting hit very hard so far tonight.
Batting ninth at second base, 7, Jace Mercer.
To the 9 hole we go. Second baseman Jace Mercer making his way to the plate now. .203 batting average on the season. An on-base percentage that sits near .350. Adcock ready on the first pitch to Mercer. It's on the way home. Nice looking pitch, dove a little bit in the zone for strike one. Defense has a big gap up the middle, but everywhere else they're playing pretty much straight up. An 0-1 is off the handle of the bat and fouled into the roof ring here at Bosse Field. Picked up by Adcock over there near the mound, and he tossed it towards his dugout. Pretty much every single section has a good amount of people here this evening at Bosse Field, but especially the ones right here behind home plate. Good crowd here for Gil Hodges night. Pitch outside is ball one to Mercer. Count goes to 1-2. Bases are empty. There's one out here in the top of the second. ValleyCats have already scored one run. Looking to add to it. A 1-2 to Mercer. Stays a bit high, maybe outside as well. The count evens up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. So the Otters are certainly going to have to deal with some adversity here in this one. Cannot let yourself stay down 4-0 into the middle innings of this game. You have got to find your way back into this game quickly, because you can't need your squad to score all these runs in 1 or 2 innings. Space it out. You get one here, one there. Gonna give yourself a chance to win a baseball game. A 3-2 to Jace Mercer. Fouled back into the netting. He'll live to see another pitch. Good one there by Adcock to challenge on the low outside corner, where those righties love to chase.
We all saw Randall, renowned speed painter, painted the Hodges picture earlier. That's on sale for a raffle. And the outer concourse $5 a ticket.
Adcock taking time to figure out the pitch he wants to send home. Has it. Here comes the 3-2 once again. Stays high, ball 4. And it's the second walk, third free pass. Given up by Adcock in the game. There's a runner at first now with just 1 out.
Top of the order, shortstop. New lottery strikeout batter of the game, 27, Pseudo Culver.
So we go back to the top of the order where Cito Culver, who started off our game with a solo home run to right, back at the plate. Hits a ball high and hard to the infield. Chasing in is Armstrong. He calls everybody off, brings it in for out number 2. Lucky little out there. So the 2-hole hitter, Brantley Bell, will make his way to the plate. Was hit by a pitch his last time up, came around to score on Park's home run. Won the count after the called strike on Bell. There's 2 outs, runner on first here in the top of the second. 0-1 is sent foul down the right side. Will get out of play. And because of it, Adcock's going to take a couple pitch lead. Good lead for Mercer over there at first. Really good lead. The 0-2 is going to come home. It's lifted foul down the right field line. Baez working towards the bullpen, and it's going to get into the picnic area out in the right field 10. Baez made a good run at it, but not only would he have had to jump the fence, he would have still had to go in about 15 feet to get to it. So with it, the count remains 0-2 for Brantley Bell. Pitch headed home. Hit sharply through the gap to the left side. Gets past Armstrong. There goes the runner to third. They will not be able to tag him. And there are now runners on the corners. Really gutsy play by Jace Mercer to try to turn that into an extra base, and he successfully did. That's the first base hit tonight that has not been a home run. for Tri-City.
Third baseman, 13, Haven Parks.
Now, of course, the question needs to be asked, what kind of arm does Rosario have in left? We haven't got to see it as much this year. When it's Baez out there, you certainly don't want to send a man home from third, as he can really gun him down from out left. We don't really know as much about Rosario because we haven't seen as much. Of course, this isn't a sac fly opportunity anyway, as Pavin Parks returns to the plate. Hit a 2-run home run his last time up back in the first. The 0-1 on the way. Stays a bit high and inside, and good work from Felix to get enough of it that it doesn't get away from him. Parks was trying to wave Bell to second, but I don't think Bell saw it. Two outs, runners on the corners as the 1-1 heads home to Pavin Parks. Hit sharply to the left side, takes a weird hop on Armstrong. Throw to first, in time, and the inning ends. Great work for Armstrong to adjust to a funky hop, get the ball to first, and we've played through 1.5. Tri-City adds to their lead with another home run. We head to the bottom half of the second. Otters bringing up Bierman, Felix, and Rosario. To the bottom of the second we go. Otters now trail by 4. Zach Bierman looking to kick the inning off right for the Otters. First pitch home. Stays a bit outside for ball 1. Want to take a look through the Frontier League scoreboard as we are beginning a Friday night. Sussex County up 2-0 at Florence in the 4th inning. 1-0 to Bierman, stays inside. Takes the count to 2-0. In the bottom of the third, New Jersey and Lake Erie even at 1 run apiece. And the game that has everybody's attention all weekend long, Quebec at Washington, tied at 1 in the 4th inning. Hefty swing from Bierman, just fouled it between the legs and back towards the netting. Ottawa already has a 3-0 cushion at Schaumburg in the 2nd inning. Trois-Rivières also there in the Chicago area. They lead Joliet 1-0 in the 2nd as well. A 2-1 to Bierman, sitting down the left field line, but foul. And this count evens up at 2-2. The New York Boulders already hold a 4-run lead at Gateway in the top of the 2nd inning. And in the top of the first, Empire State jumps out to a 1-run lead at Windy City here in the Frontier League. 2-2 stays low and inside on Bierman. He's got a full count in front of him now. Again, we want to say thanks to everyone who's hopping on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports, especially our friends from Tri-City. Glad you were able to join us here for a beautiful night of baseball in Evansville, Indiana. A 3-2 to Zach Bierman. Cranked right back up the middle, threw for a base hit. The first one for the Otters. Was able to hang that ball just enough that it got over the infield, fell down, got himself a free base here to start this first part of the second inning. Also good work to stay alive in that count. It's worked it all the way to a full count.
Batting sixth and catching number 5, Justin
The
Felix.
catcher, Justin Felix, making the walk towards the plate now. There have not been any Otters as exciting to watch as Felix in the last 10 games. In those last 10, he's batting .450 with 3 doubles, a triple, and 4 RBIs. First pitch home to Justin Felix. Called strike, almost right down the middle. That's typical of Felix. We see him very often take that first pitch just to see what he's going to see from these pitchers. No balls, 1 strike to Justin Felix. Pitch is coming home. Whoa, high and over the head of Felix, and because of it, Bierman's going to work himself towards second base for free. So a unique situation now for Felix as he's got an RBI opportunity, and that's going to cause a quick meeting at the mound between Austin Faith and Joey Campagna. Forgot to mention at the beginning of the game that pitcher-catcher battery was sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road, or give them a call at 812-475-9000.
I would like to say hello to
Full mound visit now going on.
Hess's group in section 3. Great to have you with us here at Boston.
Like they were just making sure everything was good to go up there.
This year, celebrating his 10th birthday. Happy birthday to Blake Roth, who's here at the ballpark, section 16.
Justin Felix with an RBI chance now with no outs, runner out at second base. A 1-1 count to it.
In section 19, happy birthday to you.
We'd love to see you at Bosse Field this weekend. Tomorrow night is Christmas in July night. So come have a little December celebration here at the ballpark. I believe I've heard rumblings that there could be a Christmas ornament giveaway. Might want to just come check it out for yourself. 6:35 first pitch here for Bosse Field. 1-1 stays outside for ball 2, giving Felix a 2-1 lead. Of course, on Sunday, just like usual, it's a dog days of summer here at Bosse Field, so bring your 4-legged friend with you to the ballpark and enjoy some Otters baseball. 5:05 first pitch there on Sunday. 2-1 to Justin Felix. Zoom to the left side, but foul. Ended up in the bullpen of Tri-City. Bounced all the way out towards left field. So we'll have to try again now on 2-2. So a little extra time needed as they were trying to get that ball off the field. And now we're ready to go on the 2-2 to Justin Felix. No outs, runner at second. High inside, count is full for the second straight at bat. Don't forget that you can find every single Otters game here for free, audio only on the Otters Digital Network YouTube page. Or, of course, every Otters home game is available here on Flow Sports. The road games are too, but those aren't my audio broadcasting as well. 3-2 to Felix. Sent weakly towards the right side of the infield. It's going to just work itself foul. Had that just hung on the fair side, it might have got Felix there in time and also brought Bierman to third. Instead, everyone's going to have to return to their original places and try again. So everybody taking a couple extra seconds to reset, get back to where they need to. We'll try again on the 3-2 to Justin Felix. Felix is ready for the 3-2. No outs, runner at second. Big opportunity here. Austin Faith sends the ball home. Called strike 3. Huge out to get for Austin Faith. Caught Felix looking at that one, and it's the first strikeout of the game for Faith.
Field 13, Brian Rosario.
That'll bring Brian Rosario to the plate, who in his couple of the games for the Otters has put together an .800 batting average. He has 4 hits in his 5 at-bats. See what he can do in this one. 1 out, runner on second. First pitch home, low inside, ball 1. Make sure if you want to catch an Otters game quickly, do it this weekend as the Otters then head on the road next week for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday series at Lake Erie. They'll be right back home to face Gateway next weekend. And both those series are going to mark the last time they play those squads this season. Starting to get to a lot of those types of series. Again, the Gateway Grizzlies make their final trip here to Bosse Field next weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. A 2-0 to Rosario. Left alone for strike 1. Looked like he wanted to go around on it, but couldn't quite pull the trigger. And now the catcher, Campagna, is making his way towards the dugout. Looks like he's looking at his glove for something. Might be requesting a different one. And indeed, he gets a new catcher's mitt as one of his teammates starts to work on the strings of his other one. So new catcher's mitt in hand. We're ready for the 2-1 for Brian Rosario. Runner at second. Just 1 out here in the second inning. Otters trying to at least give themselves something here in the early stages of this game. A 2-1. Cranked right back up the middle towards Culver at short. He'll play over to first for the one sure thing out. It does move Bierman 2/3 successfully, so that's important.
Batting 8 at shortstop, number 8, Andy Armstrong.
Applause and fist bumps given to Rosario as he makes his way back into the dugout. As he was successfully able to move the runner there on the fielder's choice and making his debut the first time in a few games. Andy Armstrong back out there. Was nursing a hand injury just to make sure everything was going to be all right. Good to see him back out there. He's already made his presence felt defensively. Starts off with a called strike with 2 outs, runner at third. Big chance for Armstrong to drive in a run. No balls, 1 strike. On the way home for Andy Armstrong. Stays high, count evens up at 1-1. Prior to the All-Star break, Armstrong had put together a really strong run of form. Starting to pick up a lot of multi-hit games in there as well. 1 ball, 1 strike. On the way home for Armstrong. High inside. They'll retake the lead in the count 2-1. Defense playing straight up all the way around, trying to get this final out. 2-1 to Armstrong. Lets it go for a called strike on the low inside corner. The deuces are wild. 2-2, 2 outs, bottom of the second. A 2-2 for Armstrong. Hit right back up the middle at the pitcher. It goes off his leg. He'll throw to first just in time to get Armstrong. The Otters will not be able to turn a leadoff hit into anything. We've played through 2. Tri-City still holding on to a 4-0 lead. If you missed it during the pregame period, a look through the Seal Court Frontier League standings as they stand today. Washington and Quebec leading the way in their respective divisions, and those two teams are facing each other this weekend. As of right now, they're still tied at 1 run apiece at the bottom of the fourth inning. And I say that as it updates, Washington has just scored 2 more runs, and they lead 3-1 in the bottom of the fourth inning. 2-run double from Roa. Keeping an eye on that game all evening long. Washington still leading Evansville by a couple of games. That was exceeded by an extra half game due to a cancellation of last night's game for the Otters. If you missed that, the Otters will not be making up last night's game because of the travel hardships for them and New York to find a way to play each other again. So both New York and Evansville will now just play 95 game schedules. 1-0 to Phipps stays high inside. Count expands out to 2-0. Base is empty as the 2-0 comes home to Phipps. Hit strongly to the left side. Backhanded by Armstrong. The throw. What a play! Welcome back to the lineup, Andy Armstrong. Covers lots of ground, makes accurate throws, and does it all with ease.
First baseman.
We've almost got to the point where we expect that out of him. That'll bring up the first baseman, Brad Zunica, who struck out his first time up. In fact, he was the first out recorded officially by Brett Adcock, as the first one was recorded on a caught stealing. First pitch home, stays a tiny bit outside for ball 1. Otters had themselves an opportunity there in the last half inning, but could not capitalize. So they still trail by 4. Count expands to 2-0 now on Brad Zunica. Base is empty in front of him, 1 out. The 2-0 again misses on the outside, and it's a 3-0 count. So now Adcock will have to find the zone. 3-0. Cranked out towards right field. Baez works back a couple of feet, now in a few feet, and we'll bring it in for out number 2. So with 2 down and nobody on, the catcher Joey Campagna now comes to the plate. He struck out his first time up as well. Campagna played for Trois Rivières earlier in the year for making the change over to Tri-City, staying in the division. First pitch home. Must have missed on the inside. Adcock falls behind 1-0. Trying to get his first quick inning of the day. The 1-0 does hit the zone and evens the count up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tried on the 1-1 to Campagna. Sent down the left field line, just foul. And he falls back in the count 1-2. Deep breath from Adcock, looking in for the 1-2. Has his sign, kicks and delivers. Ball sent high in the infield. Working over is Sinsley, as well as Dones. Looks like Dones will bring it in for out number 3. A 1-2-3 inning for the first time this evening. We've played 2.5. Otters trail by 4. To the bottom of the third we go. Otters trailing by 4 runs, all of which have come on home runs so far. Final warm-up pitch has been tossed, and we're ready to go. In the bottom half of the third, Otters are going to send Jones, Gordon, and Davis to the plate.
Batting ninth at second base, 18, Tyler Jones.
Not a huge sample size in Jones' book thus far, but in the couple of games he's played, he reached base twice. His first time was on his first professional hit, got an RBI on it as well. First pitch home is a called strike that got out of the glove of Campagna. Didn't matter though, it's still good for strike one. No outs, nobody on as the 0-1 comes home to Tyler Jones. This hefty swinging strike two that worked inside on him. So Jones takes a second to regroup before stepping back in. Jones has to work himself out of this jam now. 0-2. Push to the right side, right at the first baseman, Zunica, who will step on first himself for out number 1. So the Otters have sent 9 to the plate, 7 of which have been retired. A walk and a single have given them a couple opportunities. Back to the top of the order we go to Miles Gordon, who's currently on a 10-game hitting streak. Has kind of quietly put it together to work himself a little bit closer towards that 300 batting average line. First pitch home to the Edward Jones leadoff hitter of the game. Stays low for ball 1. Back in the first inning, Gordon flew out to right field. It was hit towards shallow right center field. Had a lot of bodies running that way. It kind of looked like one of those plays that, that might fall in there, but it didn't end up doing so. So now he's going to have to try again, this time on a 1-1. 1 out, nobody on, as the 1-1 comes home to Miles Gordon. Stays just a hair outside. Fastball there from Austin Faith. Didn't quite do it for Gordon to take a hack at. Heavy shift to the right side, by the way. There's a big gap to the left side of the infield. A 2-1 to Gordon. That one falls in for a called strike, and Gordon's going to watch his count even up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Faith readies himself as the 2-2 heads to the plate. Kind of hit shallowly towards center field, dropping back to grab it is the shortstop Culver, and he's able to bring it in for out number 2. Weak little liner there. So the third baseman, J.R. Davis, is going to have to try to be the one to rectify things now.
Number 2, J.R. Davis.
J.R. Davis grounded right at the second baseman his first time up. Austin Faith ready on the mound. He'll fire home the first pitch to Davis. It is pushed out towards shallow center field. Pretty easy for Lujano to bring in. And that's it. Quick 1-2-3 inning for the Otters. We've played 3 full. It's still Tri-City 4, Evansville 0 here on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Want to remind you that Evansville Otters baseball here on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports is presented by Budweiser, the king of beers. Another view there of our speed painter this evening, who in 10 minutes put together this very nice looking piece of Gil Hodges, who is being recognized tonight at the ballpark for his induction into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Forever enshrined in Cooperstown is Gil Hodges. He's being recognized tonight. They work into the fourth inning. Otters are trailing by 4 as Brett Adcock has given up all 4 runs on the 3 home runs he's given up tonight. Other than that, Otters have done all right to control things. Adcock also had a 1-2-3 last half inning, so he's looking to keep that up. Starting off against Jesus Lujono. (1-0) the count early on Lujono. Hefty swinging strike 1 evens the count up. Lujono enters the game with a .303 batting average. The 1-1. Cranked out towards left center field. Gordon having to chase towards it, but it kind of worked a little bit towards him to make his life a little bit easier for out number 1. I can tell you one thing. Even the balls that have not left the ballpark, Tri-City has hit them very well. First pitch to Mccuster. Zoom down the left field line, down for a base hit in front of Rosario. First pitch Mccuster saw, and he pulled it to the left side.
Number 7, Jace Mercer.
Rosario's lucky he was able to get there quickly and also aggressively, and because of it, keep the ball in front of him. So that's put a runner on first with just 1 out as the 9-hole hitter Jace Mercer makes his way to the plate. 1 out, 1 on. Adcock fires home. It's called strike 1 to kick things off here for Jace Mercer. Mercer walked back in the second inning, advanced all the way to third before the inning would end and strand him there. The 0-1 for Mercer. Right back up the middle. Through the infield, past everybody, and it's back-to-back singles for the ValleyCats.
Hey, everybody, your attention, please. Our President John Stanley has an awesome, great nephew. His name is Luke, and he's celebrating his 10th birthday. Let's give Luke Stanley a big round of applause as he celebrates his 10th birthday here with
Runners
us.
at first and second now.
Also on the field board as well. Happy birthday, Luke. Enjoy the rest of your 10th birthday with your
just
friends
1
at
out.
Field. Back to the top of the order, shortstop 27, Cito
Back
Culver.
to the top of this Tri-City order we go, where Cito Culver heads to the plate. Culver's 1 for 2 with a solo home run and a pop out thus far. Otters would love for him to work himself into a double play here to end the inning. First pitch to Culver, called strike 1 on the inside edge. Good work there from Adcock to bring back out that slow curveball that doesn't have a ton of movement sometimes, but it does enough decisive movement at the very end that it can be a very punishing pitch. 0-1 to Culver. Fouled off back into the netting for strike 2. And just like that, Tri-City is looking at a deficit at the plate. 0-2 for Cito Culver. Adcock taking a little bit extra time to look in for the 0-2. And before he's able to throw it, Culver steps out and regroups. This is a big at-bat here for both Adcock and the ValleyCats. They tried on an 0-2. High outside, good stop by Felix to keep it in front of him. Everyone will stay put. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Cito Culver. With runners at first and second, just 1 out. Evansville would love a double play here. The 1-2. Sent to the right side, in and out of the glove of Sinsley. Picked up by Jones. He won't be able to go anywhere with it, and nobody's going to score. Worst case scenario for the Otters there. Steven Sinsley will be handed the error there. And the bases are now loaded with 1 out. And Brantley Bell, one of the best hitters in the Frontier League, making his way to the plate. First pitch to Bell. Called strike 1 on the inside edge. Much needed first pitch strike for Brett Adcock. No balls, 1 strike. To the left fielder, Brantley Bell. Bases loaded, 1 out. Pitch works low and inside, and his count is now evened up at 1 ball, 1 strike. Worked a little too close towards the ankle even. The 1-1 for Brantley Bell. Ooh, nice pitch from Adcock. Bent towards the outside edge. Had Bell diving around for it. That is a much needed one yet again for Adcock. This could be a huge pitch in this game. Adcock looking to close out the count on a 1-2 to Brantley Bell. High inside, Bell will just turn away from it, and the count evens up. So the count's evened up. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Brantley Bell. Low inside, and we'll have to do it on a full count. So this will end up being an even bigger pitch now for Brett Adcock. Bases are loaded. There's 1 out here in the top of the 4th. ValleyCats already lead 4-0 in this game. The 3-2 sent weakly right back up the middle. It fouled, looked like off the plate, and then maybe in towards the helmet of Bell. He'll live to see another pitch. Mccuster at third, Mercer at second, Cito Culver over there at first. There's just 1 out, and Brantley Bell at the plate. The 3-2, outside ball 4. A run will come home for free. An RBI walk for Brantley Bell, and the lead is now expanded to 5.
Number 13, David Parks.
So now Ivan Parks makes his walk to the plate. Bases stay loaded. There remains to be 1 out. Parks already has himself a home run on the evening. First pitch here, fouled off to the left side. Chasing after it is J.R. Davis, and he can't quite get there yet again. Bounces right in front of him. So the bases remain loaded. Outs remain at 1, and the count falls to 0-1 for Ivan Parks. Haven Park's ready on the 0-1. Adcock finally sends it his way, and it stays high for ball one. Count evens up. So it's now Bell at first, Culver at second, Mercer at third. As the 1-1 makes its way home, it's just foul dribbled towards the Otters dugout. And it falls to 1-2 for Haven Parks. For those wondering what things are looking like there in Washington, Pennsylvania, the Wild Things are holding on to a 3-1 lead against Quebec at the bottom of the fifth inning. Also notable is in the top of the third, the Empire State Grays lead Windy City on the road 4-1. In the top of the third, the New York Boulders have jumped out to a 10-2 lead at Gateway. Watch out. Parks is going to call time and step out for a second. By the way, New York in their 10-2 lead right now in the third inning at Gateway have already hit 5 home runs. 1-2, the count towards Haven Parks. Lifted high and foul once again. This one will surely get out of play, however, and the count remains at 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Brought to you by Ed's Construction. Choose the best, never regret it.
On the bright side, looks like Storms are going to keep themselves away at least for the rest of tonight and all day tomorrow, but it doesn't look like there could be a chance on Sunday. Keep an eye out on the Otters website and social media just to make sure you're up to date with what the information could be regarding potential rain delays or anything that comes of that sort. The 1-2, this one's again lifted foul, and again will get out of play. Good work from Tri-City in this inning to foul a lot of pitches off and keep themselves alive in these counts. Not going away easy. Adcock really needs the Otters to give some help offensively now. They were close in the second inning, but could not bring a man home. The 1-2, this one sent right back up the middle. Played by Armstrong. He'll step on second to throw to first. Gets past Sinsley. A second run's going to come home to score on the errant throw there by Armstrong. Parks is going to reach and go to second. What I believe will be an error credited to Andy Armstrong. Regardless, it now brings Dennis Phipps to the plate with a runner at second and 2 outs. First pitch home, stays high, ball 1. Defense set up for the one sure thing out that they want to try to get to in this inning. They've given up 3 runs already. Ball gets past Felix, and there goes Parks to third. So there's now a runner at third and 2 outs. Sorry, I meant Bell to third, not Parks. (3-0) count to Dennis Phipps. So the runner on third and 2 outs. Otters desperately need to get this final out. It's fouled high off towards shallow right field. Baez is coming in to make the play, and it's actually in fair territory, but it is the final out of the half inning. Not before, though. Tri-City scores 3 more and now leads 7-0 as we head to the bottom half of the 4th inning here on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Make that trip up.
Into the bottom of the fourth inning we go. Evansville still trailing in this game now by 7 after giving up a couple extra runs on a couple of errors there in that fourth inning. That's what really hurt them. They were able to get themselves eventually out of the inning, giving up 3 runs on 2 hits and stranding 1 runner on. But 2 errors helped lead to it. So officially right now, Brett Adcock is looking at a line that features 7 runs allowed, 5 earned on 6 hits and 4 innings. Steven Sinsley at the plate now to kick off the half inning. First pitch to him. Falls low and inside for ball 1. Sinsley on the evening walked in the first inning but was stranded at first right away. The 1-0 stays inside. Sinsley keeps a lead in the count. Couple extra scores for you around the Frontier League. Sussex County up 3-1 at Florence. New Jersey is behind 3-2 at Lake Erie. That Lake Erie team looks red hot right now. The Otters have to go face them at Lake Erie next week. Keep your eye on what that series could do to the grand scheme of things. Still in the top of the 6th inning, Washington leading Quebec 3-1 there in Washington, PA. 3-0 to Sinsley, fouled back into the netting. Count falls to 3-1. In the bottom of the 5th inning, Ottawa has expanded their lead to now 5-1 at Schaumburg. Could be a tough night for the Boomers, and if the Otters are going to lose, they'd love the Boomers to lose as well to keep that gap between. Trois-Rivières has a 2-0 advantage at Joliet in the bottom of the 4th. 3-1 to Sinsley, fouled towards the parking lot. The count will head to full. Again, Trois-Rivières leading Joliet on the road, 2-0 in the 4th. New York up 10-2 at Gateway, the bottom of the 3rd. 5 of New York's 10 runs have come on home runs. And in the bottom of the 3rd inning, Empire State leads at Windy City 4-1. A 3-2 called strike 3 on Sinsley. He is not a fan at all. He'll stand there and give his thoughts to the home plate umpire before making his way towards the Otters dugout.
Right fielder 33, Jeffrey Baez.
So the second time tonight, the Otters have been struck out, both of them looking. That brings up the right fielder, Jeffrey Baez, with 1 out, nobody on. First pitch home. Catches the zone for a called strike. The 0-1, way high and inside. Baez just barely gets out of the way. With it, his count will even up. A couple of these pitches taking a little extra time to come home. He's now already at the 1-1. Stays just a bit to the high outside. It's a good offering, though, from Austin Fate. Good offering, but it needed to be better to grab Baez this time. The 2-1 lined out towards center field, chasing in is the 1-0, and he's able to bring it in for the second out. Heavy run there from Lojano. And it was good enough to grab that second out. So with 2 down and nobody on, Zach Bierman back to the plate. First pitch sent out towards shallow center. That one is going to drop in for the second base hit of the day for Zach Bierman. Good to see Bierman able to grab himself another on-base opportunity. Unfortunately, though, this one comes with 2 outs. Justin Felix, who struck out looking on a close pitch his last time up. We're going to try to rectify that with a 2-out, man-on situation. Runner at first, like usual, is Zach Bierman. We've seen him there a lot in these situations with 2 outs. First pitch for Felix. It's a hefty swinging strike one, and he's quickly down in the count. The 0-1 to Justin Felix. Catches him looking, and it stays a bit high, so he'll luck into a 1-1 count. That one was very close and could have gone either way on him. Even count at 1-1 for Justin Felix. 2 outs, runner at first. Otters trail by a whole bunch. 1-1 swung on and missed, and he's going to have to fight from behind now. Defense is playing with a bit of a shift towards that left side, so Felix could push something. Might be able to fit it through the gap. 1-2 outside, count evens up. They tried to get Felix to chase, and there's been lots of times he has done that this year. This is not one of them. A 2-2 to Justin Felix. Zoom to the left side, but foul. Second time tonight we've seen him rope one to that left side, but it has been closer to his third base coach, Andy McCauley. Felix takes a couple extra seconds to step back in for an important 2-2 pitch with 2 outs, runner on. Otters have got to get some offensive production going quickly. High ball has sent this one to a big full count. Payoff pitch on the 3-2 with 2 outs, runner at second. This is the time for Evansville to find themselves an opportunity to keep going. The 3-2. Swinging strike 3 will sit down. Justin Felix, we've played through 4 complete innings. All Tri-City in this one, 7-0. We've played 4 complete innings. Evansville's really struggled to
Have
get
you seen
anything
them in the
going
honor roll?
offensively.
Make sure you tell them hello when you do.
On the defensive
Evansville
side of things,
our
though,
fans, and
Brett
encourage
Adcock
you
has
to
allowed
visit Federal Credit Union property.
3 home runs alongside a 3-run fourth inning that has helped lead to a 7-0 game in favor of Tri-City. There's the completed product, by the way, of that mural that was painted about Gil Hodges, the speed painting before the game. It's actually being auctioned off this evening.
Leading off,
Gil Hodges at the ballpark. Brad Zunica at the plate to kick off this 5th inning. It'll be him, Campagna, and Lujano due up.
So again, happy birthday to Larry.
First pitch is outside, ball 1.
Turning 86 today.
And Adcock takes his time to kind of reset the mind on his way back to the bump. A 1-0. This one's good for a called strike on that high outside corner. Important that Adcock keeps himself close in these counts so that he doesn't have to give very good opportunity balls. Called strike 2, has him ahead 1-2 now. That's an important one to get as well. Now he can dictate the play a little bit more in this count with Zunica. 1-2 is a good pitch, but not quite good enough to get Zunica to buy in. The count evens to 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Zunica zooms one to the right side.
Happy birthday to
This count stays put at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Still here in the 5th inning, and Adcock's nearing the 90 pitch mark. Try again on the 2-2. Outside ball 3, and we'll have to use a payoff pitch here. Again, we want to say welcome in to all of our friends from the Tri-City area tuning in for this evening's game. Glad to have you here on the Otters Digital Network. 3-2 to Zunica. Skied high towards shallow left. Armstrong calls everybody off, and he'll bring it in just barely.
I'd also like to say
for out number 1.
Mark Weaver here at the ballpark tonight. Happy birthday to Mark.
One down, nobody on. The catcher, Joey Campagna, making his way to the plate.
Catcher, 16, Joey.
Quebec had an opportunity to grab a couple of runs at the top of the 6th, only got 1, so they still trail 3-2 at Washington, bottom half of the 6th inning. First pitch to Campagna, sent foul towards his third base coach, in and out of his hand. Elsewhere around the Frontier League, Lake Erie's holding on to a 3-2 advantage against New Jersey in the 6th inning. 0-1 to Campagna. Ooh, high and inside. He just gets his head out of the way, and his count evens up. Otters need a couple of outs here from Adcock, and they've got to find some offense. Running out of time already here in the middle stages of the game. You cannot rely on getting runs in those 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th innings. Being down 7 already. 2-1 to Campagna. Evens the count up on the outside edge. Campagna shakes his head. He doesn't agree with the called strike. But regardless, it's a 2-2. Adcock quickly nods home. Fires home on the 2-2. Swinging strike 3, and Adcock has got himself a German American Bank strikeout. His first since the 1st inning.
Center fielder,
Jesus Lujano, who is 1 for 2 with a solo home run and a fly out to center thus far. Looking to continue his successful day. Hails from Venezuela. First toss to Lujano. High outside, ball 1. Bases are empty. 2 outs here as the 1-0 fired home. Foul tipped and actually ended up being fouled right back up the middle a little bit. The counts evens up, 1 ball, 1 strike. By the way, if you want to stay up to date with all the Evansville Otters news all season long, follow the Otters on Twitter at Eville Otters, on Instagram at Evansville Otters, or like them on Facebook. And then if you are listening here on the Otters Digital Network, make sure you hit that little bell to be notified every time we go live for a new ball game. That way you can be the first one in here, ready to listen to Otters baseball on the Otters Digital Network. We thank each and every one of you for taking the time out of your day to root on your hometown team. Two-one, the count towards Jesus Lojano. Again, Adcock just can't quite get that high outside corner to work in his favor. He's had a few of them called, but not as many as he'd probably like. 3-1. Hit hard towards the Otters bullpen for a foul ball strike 2, and the count is full yet again. Adcock already has himself one 3-up, 3-down inning. He could do it again here on a payoff pitch, but it bounces in for ball 4, and Lojano's going to get himself on base for the second time today. That brings us to the right fielder, Carson Mccuster. Mccuster is 1 for 2
Carson Mccuster,
with a single and a flyout thus far. Two outs, runner on first. Pitch home from Adcock, gets away from Felix, and it's going to allow Lojano to reach second freely. And just like that, a runner in scoring position yet again for Tri-City. One ball, no strikes to Carson Mccuster. Zoom towards J.R. Davis, right into the glove for out number 3. We've made it to the center point energy, center point of the game. Otters still trail 7-0 here on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. To the bottom half of the 5th inning we go. Otters trailing 7-0 here from historic Bosse Field. They're going to look to end the scoring drought here in the 5th as Rosario, Armstrong, and Jones are due up in the half inning. First pitch home to Brian Rosario. Zoomed into right field, down for a base hit. Good work from Rosario to kick off the inning. Solid hit to right. Otters now up to 3 hits, 2 of them belonging to Bierman, the third now to Rosario.
Shortstop, number 8, Andy Armstrong.
Andy Armstrong, who has already made his presence known defensively, is looking to help do the same with his offensive work. Time was called there by the home plate umpire Tyler Thurmond, but I'm not exactly sure why. Regardless, we're good to go now. First pitch home to Andy Armstrong. Called strike one on the inside edge. Now, of course, I admittedly do not quite know Rosario well enough because we haven't seen him in a lot of games yet to know the speed he has. He has a good lead over there at first, still being a little bit cautious about where he puts his feet, but I'm not sure if he's a stolen base threat or not yet. We're going to go check on him over there. It's a good throw, but he's back in time. So even if they haven't seen much of the speed, Tri-City's respecting the potential. Going to try on the 0-1. Bunted to the left side. Armstrong going to try to beat it to first. No throw. Andy Armstrong lays a perfect bunt down the third base line. Gets himself on base. Well, Bill, hope you're watching from home. Play right out of his playbook. No outs. Runners at first and second. Tyler Dones making his way to the plate. Former Indiana man. First pitch to Dones. Stays low, ball one. One ball, no strike. Tyler Dones with runners at first and second, no outs. 1-0 worked a little inside on him. He thought about going around, and then he realized he was going to grab his elbows if he wasn't careful. The 2-0 to Tyler Dones. Stays high, ball three. And Dones might be able to get himself a walk to put the bases loaded. Big time opportunity here for the Otters. A 3-0 to Tyler Dones. Called strike right at the elbows. Dones, with a smile on his face, didn't really agree with it. Three-1 is the count. Runners at first and second, no outs here. Pitch home. That one stays high. Bases are loaded for the Otters with no outs.
That's Spearhead Sidewalk Cafe and Bar.
This is it. You've got an opportunity. You've got to make this Tri-City team pay. Miles Gordon is on a 10-game hitting streak. He's due up next. First, we need a mound visit for the ValleyCats. The entire infield's going to come in as well. There is a man warming up for Tri-City down there. Hard to tell who it is as he's chosen the inside lane down there. It does look like it could be Neil Abatello. Mound visit has concluded. And we've got an opportunity for the Otters to get some serious runs here. The Edward Jones leadoff hitter of the game, Miles Gordon, who's 0 for 2. Now with the bases loaded in front of him, no outs. Not sure if they still are, but sounded like Gordon's family was in town earlier this week, came down from Canada. If you're in town, glad you're still here. If you're not, glad you came down and joined us. First pitch, zoomed out to right center field. Chasing towards it is McCusker. It's towards the wall, and it's off the wall. 1 run scores, 2 run scores, 3 run scores. It's a bases clearing triple for Miles Gordon. And the Otters are right back in this thing. Right off the bat, the right fielder, McCusker, had completely lost it. Luckily for him, though, the center fielder, Lujano, had a play on the ball, but it went off the wall. And Miles Gordon decided out of the box he was going to go all the way to third. 3-run score on the bases clearing triple, and that might be the end of the day of Austin Faith. Another mound visit taking place. They're all giving him high fives, and that will do the day for Austin Faith after the 3-run triple to Miles Gordon. We'll take a break and introduce you to the new man on the mound right after this, as the Otters have pulled within 4 here on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. The new man on the mound for Tri-City, Neil Abatello. He's a lefty out of North Salem, New York, and is a rookie here in this Frontier League, looking to keep the Otters at bay after Evansville has just scored their first 3 runs of the game on a big hit from Miles Gordon, just a few feet short of a grand slam, in fact. This call to the bullpen is presented by our friends at Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. Is now Abatello on the mound. Campagna behind the plate. That pitcher catcher battery is sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road. Give me a call at 812-475-9000. Abatello fires the first pitch home to Davis. He goes digging for strike 1. Of course, Miles Gordon is still assessed to Austin Faith's line. Runner at third, nobody out. J.R. Davis at the plate now, and he's going to have to take a step out after Abatello steps off. The 0-1 is coming home to J.R. Davis, and it's put back into the netting. Working here in the bottom half of the 5th inning, just past the Center Point Energy center point of the game. Evansville looking to kick off this series in a positive fashion. Still got work to do, though. The 0-2 on its way to J.R. Davis. Sent high, very shallow, though. It's in the infield as Parks gets underneath it, brings it in for out number 1. An unfortunate out for the Otters. So that will bring up the first baseman, Steven Sinsley, who's 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk thus far in the game. He struck out looking his last time up. And if Sinsley could get a hold of something and give the Otters 2 more runs, boy, would that help change this game for the better for the Otters. Knew they could not leave all of the comeback work towards the later innings. They got to keep their foot on the gas. First pitch home to Sinsley, called strike on the outside edge. That's a good pitch. It is over the plate, but it is one we haven't seen called all the evening long. So it is a difficult one to throw as a pitcher. The 0-1 towards Sinsley. It's fouled back into the mask of Campagna. They'll reset. Sinsley will have to work on an 0-2 offering now. Miles Gordon stands at third with 1 out and an 0-2 count to Steven Sinsley, one of the hardest hitting baseball players I've ever had the chance to watch in my lifetime. But he's got to make solid contact. 0-2 to Sinsley. Bounces in. Great stop by Campagna to keep Gordon over there at third. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw Abatello go right back with that low and outside, trying to get Sinsley to reach over there and chase the pitch. We'll see it right now. On the 1-2, it is low and outside. It's another good stop by Campagna, and the count evens up. No luck on the low outside corner. Abatello might swap it up and come to the low inside corner now and see if he can get Sinsley to fish a little bit. Almost, well, he's pulling out the 7-iron. The 2-2 to Sinsley. High and outside. Easy one for Sinsley to lay off as it was eye level. And a huge full count to Sinsley, who's done a great job to work his 0-2 to a 3-2. Three balls, 2 strikes to Steven Sinsley. There's 1 out and a runner at third. Otters trail by 4. Payoff pitch. Pushed out towards left field. Long run for Bell towards the foul line. Brings it in. There goes Gordon towards home. He's going to easily score on the sac fly RBI. And the Otters are within 3. So it's a productive at-bat for Steven Sinsley to bring the man home. That'll bring up Jeffrey Baez with 2 outs, and now the base is empty. Evansville down just 7-4. So far in the day, Baez is 0 for 2, grounding into a fielder's choice and also flying out to center. First pitch here, low, ball 1. Haven't seen anyone warming up for Evansville, so it does seem as if Brett Adcock's going to remain in this game. 1 ball, no strikes. The right fielder, Baez, takes that one for a called strike. That's a good-looking pitch from Abatello. The 1-1. Another pitch bounces in. Gets a little away from Campagna, but it does not matter. 2 balls, 1 strike for Jeffrey Baez. There's 2 outs, nobody on. Hefty swinging strike 2, and Baez is looking at an even count now. Otters would love to extend this half inning. Even if they're not able to, they've at least made their mark here in the middle stages. 2-2. Foul tipped, and it got out of the glove of Campagna, so Baez is going to live to see another pitch. Baez chased that one a little bit to the outside of the zone. Two remains the count. Still 2 outs, still nobody on. 2-2 for Baez. Low inside, and he's going to get to see a full count. Want to take a quick check on some of our friends around the Frontier League. Washington and Quebec still close. 3-2 in favor of the Wild Things, bottom of the 7th inning. Lake Erie's expanded their lead out to 4-2 over New Jersey in the top of the 8th. Meanwhile, Sussex has themselves a big lead at Florence, 7-1. Also, up there near Chicago, Ottawa leads 9-1 at Schaumburg. Could be a big win for Ottawa. 3-2 to Baez, swinging strike 3, but not before the Otters are able to put up 4 runs. Capitalized by a bases-clearing triple by Miles Gordon. We head to the 6th inning. Otters now just down by 3. Another look at that Played Against Sports replay of Miles Gordon clearing the bases with a stand-up triple. Then he came home to score on the sac fly RBI from Sinsley to give Evansville 4 runs. They now just trail by 3. Whole new ball game now. Adcock ready up on the bump. He's going to face off against the 9-1-2 hitters of Mercer, Culver, and Bell. Right now, there are just 2 ValleyCats who have failed to reach base in this game, and Zunica and Campagna. First pitch home to Mercer is a called strike on the high outside corner, a place that Adcock has not got a lot of pitches called tonight, but this one's one of them. The 0-1 towards Jace Mercer. It's just barely fouled off into the netting. And he's quickly down 0-2 in the count. Mercer's reached in both of his first 2 opportunities, a walk in the second, a single in the fourth. He made it to third in the second inning and was able to score in the fourth. 0-2, just misses on the outside edge. Exactly what I was talking about. Even though that pitch is close, Adcock has not got a lot of favorable calls out there. So he's had to kind of work around the other parts of the zone. Try again on the 1-2. It's fouled off to the right side. Otters do have a man starting to warm up in the pen out in right field. Looks like Jake Polancic down there. Polancic appeared just a couple of nights ago, struck out 6 of the 7 men he faced. 1-2 the count for Jace Mercer. Adcock fires home. Again, fouled off to the right side. Good work for Mercer right here to keep himself alive in the count. One, two again. This one is ball 2. The fans here at Bossy Field a little dissatisfied with that call, but it is a good one in there. Adcock is getting close to the 110 pitch limit. 2-2. Stays a hair low. And with it, the count heads to full on Jace Mercer, who's done a great job to keep himself alive in this count. Fought off 4 straight foul balls on the 1 and 2 before expanding his count out to full. So now we're going to have a payoff pitch. Lifted high, foul to the right side. Sinsley chasing it down over there in foul territory, and he needed about 5 more feet as that one goes bouncing into the seating area here at Bossy Field.
I'd also like to welcome our friends from Legacy Cheer and Escalade Sports at the ballpark tonight as well. Thanks to Julie Hurst.
Defense is straight up all the way around for Jace Mercer, who has done an exceptional job in this at-bat to keep himself alive multiple times. Adcock throws home the payoff pitch. It's high outside, ball 4. It's a very hard-earned walk for Jace Mercer. And Mercer has reached base all 3 times tonight. And with it, we turn the page back to the top of the order for Tri-City. Cito Culver now makes his way to the plate.
Shortstop 27, Cito Culver.
He's got a home run, a pop-up, and reached on an error. He did come around to score on a separate error later in that 4th. First pitch to Culver. Low inside, not close enough for a strike. Starts off the count 1-0. Adcock looking in for the 1-0. Nods home. Stares down the man over at first. Here comes the 1-0 home. Stays high. Mercer didn't really seem to care. He's still got a big lead and still got a big jump regardless of Adcock looking right at him. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw at least one throw. The 2-0 home. That one's good for a called strike. Found Mercer found Culver right at the elbows. Two balls, one strike. There's a runner at first and no outs. Adcock's going to fire. That way they've got him in a little bit of a rundown. Throw to Armstrong. Now the throw back to Adcock. He'll tag out the runner. And it is great work from Adcock to catch the man in between first and second. More importantly, good work from everyone involved to make sure they got the out. So the bases are now empty. Big smile from the kid as he heads back up to the mound. 2-1 the count. Now 1 out and the base is empty. And it lets the defense relax back to their deeper positionings. A 2-1 towards Culver. Called strike 2 at the elbows. Curveball there from Adcock that didn't have a ton of break, but it had just enough to fall into the zone at the last second. 2-2 to Culver. Pushed out foul to the right side. It will get out of play.
All right, top ball brought to you by Ed's Construction. Choose the best, never regret it.
Adcock kind of looking around as he steps back up on the bump. Shakes his head before finally nodding at a pitch call. 2-2 home. Sent towards Davis at third. He'll take his side step and throw to first for out number 2. 2 down and nobody on. Brantley Bell makes his way to the plate. Bell is one of 2 ValleyCats who has reached base all 3 times. He was hit by a pitch in the first, had a single in the second, and had an RBI walk in the fourth. Max Peterson makes the walk up, clapping for his pitcher, Adcock. Lots to be proud of Adcock's last couple innings. He'll get a good standing ovation from some of the fans here as he makes his way back to the dugout. New pitcher in it for the Otters. We'll let you know who it is right after this on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. New pitcher for the Otters as the day ends for the kid Brett Adcock. It's Jake Polancic who's getting the nod out of the pen. 6'3", 210 for a long time was one of the giants in the pen, but now the Otters have seen a couple of 6'6" men join the pen. It's kind of undersized Polancic a little, if you will. Polancic's last outing was 2 nights ago. He struck out 6 of the 7 batters he saw. It was one of the few highlights in a tough game for the Otters. So to see him have that success after having an up and down year so far is uplifting. We'll see what he can do in this one as he heads into the game with 2 outs, nobody on. And the first pitch is a called strike against Brantley Bell. We are able to close the book on Brett Adcock. We're going to have to be quick as Polancic already has himself a 2-pitch lead. Adcock allows 7 runs, only 4 of them earned on 6 hits in 5 2/3 innings. He strikes out 3, walks 5, 114 pitches for him. 0-2 to Bell. High outside, he's able to lay off that pitch and keep himself alive in the count. 1-2 now. Defense set up straight up all the way around as the 1-2 comes home. Lifted high in the infield. Chasing in is Sinsley. He calls everybody off. Steps into foul territory and brings it in for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down after a opening walk. And we head to the bottom half of the 6th. Otters down by just 3 to try to get themselves closer right after this on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Bottom of the 6th inning, Otters trail by 3. It's Bierman, Felix, and Rosario due up, 2 of which have helped lead the charge this evening. First pitch home to Zach Bierman. Swinging strike 1, foul tipped it into the glove of Campagna. No balls, 1 strike. Towards Bierman. Sit sharply towards the right side. Zunica will play it on a hop and step on first himself for out number 1. First time tonight, Bierman has been retired. So that will send Justin Felix to the plate, who has a pair of strikeouts to his name in this game and is looking for redemption. Tell you what, the Otters don't have that bad 4th inning with a couple of errors. This is a totally different ball game. Very good chance this game's tied instead. But it's all a game of what ifs now. Felix ready at the plate. 0-2 line thus far. First pitch to him. Low and outside ball 1 bounces in. Meant to mention at the beginning of the half inning, it is still Neil Abatel in the game for Tri-City. Long wait before the 1-0 to Justin Felix. Abatello's ready. 1-0 is sent sharply to the left side. 3rd time tonight. Felix has clobbered a ball, but he's been a little too ahead of it. Sent it foul. Nobody on, 1 out. 1-1 the count for Justin Felix. Abatello sends it his way, and the 1-1 is swung on and missed for strike 2. Felix taking his time to step back in. One out on the board, a 1-2 count towards it. 1-2 is half swung. He's able to check his swing, and it's ball 2. Two the count now to Justin Felix. With 1 out, nobody on. It's lifted high, shallow to the right side. Zunica stands underneath it. It takes a weird bounce on him and drops in fair territory. Felix is going to get himself 2 bases. Heads up play there on Felix to just keep on running. Maybe as Felix ran past first, it threw Zunica off just a little bit. But an error over there on the first baseman allows extra bases. I think they're actually going to award it a hit.
Left fielder, number 13, Brian Rosario.
They will. So the Otters have a 1-out man on with one of the hottest Otters in his first couple of games. Brian Rosario at the plate. He's 1 for 2 in this game. Had the single that led off that big 5th inning. Rosario ready at the plate with 1 out and a runner at second. First pitch home. Inside, ball 1. Rosario at a 1-0 count advantage. The 1-0 to Rosario. Sent sharply to the left side, through for a base hit. Felix is going to hold steady at third, but there are runners on the corners with 1 out. Big time hit from Rosario. And he's 2 for 3 on the day.
Shortstop, number 8, Andy Armstrong.
Andy Armstrong making his way to the plate. Big chance for Evansville to dig themselves right back into this game, and a meeting at the mound is going to take place for the ValleyCats. They don't have anyone warming up right now, at least. So we'll see what the official decision is, just to give himself a couple of moments, or if they're going to get someone to start tossing. Started off with a Zach Bierman ground out to the first baseman, but now back-to-back hits have given the Otters an opportunity in this game. Armstrong at the plate with runners on the corners and 1 out. Evansville trails by 3. First pitch to Armstrong. And he fouls it back into the netting for strike 1. Armstrong's last time up, he got a single on a bunt down the third base line. Because of that, he's got the third baseman Parks playing very close. So if he can hit something strong towards that left side, he might be able to sneak it by. 0-1 to Armstrong. Stays low enough to even the count up. Long wait for Neil Avatello up there on the bump. One to Armstrong. He reaches as it goes low and away. The runner Rosario is going to capitalize on the ball getting a little bit away and get himself a free base. So now Armstrong's got a shot with 2 men in scoring position and just 1 out. It is a poor swing for Armstrong, though, as he really reached out for that one. Rosario's at second, Felix is at third. A 1-2 count for Armstrong. Big RBI chance for him. The 1-2 sent right back up the middle. It's picked up by the pitcher, who will throw down to first in time. Nobody will advance. And unfortunately, Armstrong cannot do anything with his at-bat.
Second baseman.
So some pressure will rest on the shoulders now of Tyler Dones. Dones is 0 for 1 in the game. He grounded out in the third and had a walk in the fifth. First pitch to Dones on the way home. Catches the zone on the high inside corner. Big strike. Good crowd here tonight at Bosse Field as they celebrated Gil Hodges night. Now that crowd's trying to get behind the Otters and help them get closer in this game. 2 outs. Runners at second and third, and 0-1 to Dones. Stays outside for ball 1. Close pitch there, but a good call. Absolutely no wind here at Bosse Field right now. Conditions are completely steady. The 1-1 up high, ball 2. We know that Tyler Dones is able to grab a hit in a big time scenario. He did it on that first night against New York For a while, it looked like his run could have been the winning run. The 2-1 to him now. Push towards the right side, foul, and he's going to have his count evened up at 2-2.
Brought to you by Hex Construction. Choose the best, never regret it.
Tri-City remains in town for the next 2 nights. Tomorrow night is Christmas in July here at the ballpark. Sources say that there's going to be a Christmas ornament giveaway. Guess if you want to see, you have to come check out Bossy Field. Get tickets now at EvansvilleOtters.com, or you can get them at the gate as usual. And then the series concludes on Sunday for a Dog Days of Summer here at the ballpark. Bring the four-legged friend with you. 6:35 tomorrow night, first pitch. 5:05 first pitch on Sunday. 2-2 to Dones. Swinging strike 3, and the Otters are not able to do anything with their 2 runners on. We head to the 7th inning. Evansville still trails by 3. Evansville Otters baseball on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports is presented by Old National Bank, your bank for Evansville, your bank for life. Well, the Otters had a big opportunity there in the 6th, unable to capitalize on it. So Jake Plancic will retake the mound, hoping to keep this game where it's at, a 3-run deficit for the Otters. First pitch home to Pavin Parks, outside ball 1. Parks in the game as a 2-run home run, reaching on an error and also grounding into a fielder's choice. Pitch is sent back into the netting to even the count up at 1 ball, 1 strike. One and one, the count on Pavin Parks. No outs, nobody on here to kick off the inning. 1-1, swinging strike 2. Long wait for Plancic as he's waiting on Parks to step back in. The 1-2 pushed out to the left side. Long run for Rosario. He's on his horse. The dive. Oh, just barely missed that ball. Boy, did he cover a lot of ground very quickly. So it remains a 1-2 count. We'll have to reset now. 1-2 the count. One ball, 2 strikes. Stays low and inside. They check to see if he went. They say no, he did not. And the count evens up at 2-2. Count even. 2 balls, 2 strikes for Pavin Parks here to lead off the top of the 7th inning. Another ball pushed off to foul territory. For a while, Davis was chasing, but he's going to run out of area over there.
Ball brought to you by Phipps Construction. Choose the best. Never regret it.
So we take a second to reset before the 2-2. Parks again pushes one foul to the left side. Good work on his part to stay alive.
Brought to you by Phipps Construction. Choose the best. Never regret it.
Two balls, 2 strikes for Pavin Parks, and time's going to be called as they have to recover a ball out in the outfield. Defense is set up straight up all the way around. The 2-2 zoom to the right side foul will end up in the Otters bullpen. Two balls, 2 strikes for Pavin Parks. No outs, nobody on. Two is pushed foul now, and Parks is staying.
I'm here to tell you that overhead foul ball is
Very
brought to you by
difficult to
Phipps
deal with at the
Construction.
in the plate
Choose
right now.
the best. Never regret it.
Two the count. Still no outs. Still nobody on. A long at bat. And it's outside for ball 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Carly Tegmeyer won the Brickyard 200 tickets. Head to the front office, Carly Tegmeyer. Get your IMS tickets for Sunday. Enjoy the race on NBC.
3-2 the count for Pavin Parks. Payoff pitch from Polancic. Way inside ball 4. And it's a leadoff walk for Parks.
Designated hitter, 12, Dennis Phipps.
So that's going to bring up Dennis Phipps, who has been remarkably quiet so far in this game, but he did get robbed of a base hit by Armstrong back in the 3rd. He's 0 for 2 in the game. First pitch home to Phipps. Swinging strike 1 was foul tipped into the glove of Felix. No balls, 1 strike to Phipps. Runner at first, no outs. And another pitch coming home from Polancic. Swinging strike 2. Phipps has taken an extra pitch behind now. No balls, 2 strikes to Dennis Phipps. Felix had a little bit of a twitch like he wanted to throw down to first as the count goes to 1-2. Walk, wait for Polancic to reset. The 1-2, lifted up towards center. Gordon chasing back towards the wall at the warning track, brings it in for out number 1. Long run. That's an important out to get for Evansville. 1 out, runner stays at first.
First baseman, 48, Brad Zunica.
So Brad Zunica heads to the plate, one of 2 ValleyCats who have yet to make it on base safely. First pitch is a hair outside for ball 1. Is zoomed to right field. Baez is going to watch that one fly. It is a no doubt home run. My goodness, that thing left in a hurry. The 4th home run of the night hit by Tri-City has reinforced the lead for the ValleyCats. (9-4) now in favor of Tri-City.
The catcher, number 16, Joey Campagna.
Brings up the catcher, Joey Campagna. As the first pitch comes home, a hair outside, they say no, he didn't, so it's ball 1. On that last home run, Yakertech says it went 382. I would bet it might have been a little further than that as it cleared the second wall out there in right field. Swinging strike 1 has even the count up at 1-1 for Campagna. Campagna has spent a lot of time in independent ball all over the place. Played in the Washington League in 2020 as well as the All-American Baseball Challenge. Now a couple of years in the Frontier League for Washington, Tri-Riviere, and now Tri-City. Defense is spread out, ready on the 1-2 for Joey Campagna. He half swings, put the ball foul towards the right side. They'll keep the count at 1-2. Just when it felt like the Otters might put together enough that they were able to come back in this game and make a run at Tri-City, another home run has made life hard on the Otters. Now down by 5. The 1-2 to Campagna. Reaching and pushing it foul. Nice snag by Davis, but it did stay
Tom
foul.
Miskell, congratulations. You're also going to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, racing capital of the world. Watch the Brickyard 200 on Sunday. Tom Miskell from the Otters front office to get your tickets. Enjoy the race Sunday on NBC.
So we take a second to reset before the 1-2. Fired home. Called strike 3. Late called strike 3. But it's the first German American make strikeout from Jake Polancic.
Center fielder number 8, Jesus Luciano.
Jesus Lojano, who has a home run, a flyout, and a walk so far in this game, will look to keep the inning alive and takes a first pitch strike. An 0-1 to Lojano. Ball's a bit low for ball 1. Florence Yalls are currently down to their last out against Florence. 9-2 the score in favor of Sussex County there at the bottom of the ninth. The Crushers did get a 5-2 win there in Avon, Ohio, over New Jersey. 5-2 again that final. And in the bottom of the eighth, the Washington Wild Things lead Quebec 6-2. Be a big win for Washington. 1-2 Lojano right back up the middle, through for a base hit. Just kind of willed that one past the second baseman Dones. It'll bring out right fielder Carson Mccuster, who has reached safely back in the fourth on a single. Going around a couple more scores here in the Frontier League. Ottawa up 9-1 at Schaumburg. They're in the bottom of the eighth right now. And in the bottom of the seventh, Trois Rivières holding on to a 5-3 lead at Joliet. And then rounding out the day, the New York Boulders currently up 13-7 at Gateway. And in the bottom of the sixth, Empire State leads Windy City 7-3. First pitch home to McCuskers, low outside, ball one. Defense has a heavy shift to the left. And it's low outside again, ball two. Don't forget these two squads face off at 6:35 tomorrow night. I'd love to see you in person for Christmas in July, but if you can't be here in person, join us here on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports as Jose Cruz goes for Tri-City. He'll face off against Austin Gossman. Gossman, one of the league leaders right now in ERA, and has proven himself to be one of the best. There goes the runner towards second. The throw down will not be in time. It's a stolen base for Jesus Lojano. So a 3-0 count now on Carson Mccuster. And it might be in one more pitch that the stolen base didn't even matter. The 3-0 to McCusker. Called strike one as that was almost right down the main street. Polancic is throwing one of the biggest days of his season thus far. 33 pitches already in this game. 3-1 coming home towards McCusker. There goes the runner again. The throw down to third, bounces in, gets past, and it's going to get past everybody, and easily scoring from third is going to be Lujano. He'll get a stolen base for third, and then he'll reach home on the error. And just like that, the lead grows yet again. Now back out to a 6-run advantage for the ValleyCats. The Otters have had double digits scored against them in back-to-back games now. Something they've got to find a way to avoid. 3-2 to McCusker. And it's a called strike three. Had it happened one pitch earlier, the Otters would not have had the run score, but the German American Bank strikeout does end the half inning, but not before 3 more runs score for the ValleyCats. It's now 10-4 as we enter the bottom half of the seventh on the Otters.
Business Solution needs
A pitching change needed for the Tri-City ValleyCats as we head to the 7th inning.
into pitch for that.
Adi Nunez, the lefty out of Santiago de los Caballeros, Dominican Republic. He pitched in the affiliated ranks of the Altoona Curve last year. Stands 6'8" up there on the bump.
St. U. Right, Evan?
The Squad of Bullpens presented by our friends at Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. It's now Nunez.
Dump the over to you for the Evansville Otters.
Now, bagging up behind the plate, the Catcher Battery is sponsored by The Answer. Auto Repair is located at 319 North Columbus Road. Give them a call at 812-475-9000. Edward Jones, leadoff hitter of the game. Miles Gordon will lead off this half inning. His last time up, a bases clearing triple. Hard to imagine in a game where you have a bases clearing triple, you're still trailing by 6 runs, but that's where the Otters find themselves. Gordon ready on the first pitch of the half inning. It's high for ball 1. Gordon, the Edward Jones leadoff hitter of the game, with his hit earlier, extended his hitting streak to 11 games. That's 2 shy of the Otters' season high this year. Called strike on the high inside corner, evens the count up at 1-1 for Miles Gordon. Otters have another man warming up in the bullpen as the ball is sent foul towards the Otters dugout here. Trying to see exactly who it is down there in that right field pen. Looks like it could be the new man of Kevin Davis, the 6'9" righty out of Orland Park. Time is taken as everyone kind of resets. Gordon steps back in now. The 1-2. Sent foul bouncing to the right side. Goes out of play, and 1-2 is still the count. The 1-2 to Gordon. Low inside, and his count evens up. Try again on the 2-2. This one sent shallow towards the right side, and it looks like the first baseman Zunica is the one who will bring it in for out number 1.
Third baseman, number 2, J.R.
Brings up the third baseman, J.R. Davis, 0 for 3 on the game. Ground out, fly out, and pop out to his name. Quick meeting at the mound between pitcher and catcher battery of Nunez and Campagna. Looks like they finally concluded their quick discussion. J.R. Davis is standing there at the ready at the plate. J.R. Davis ready to go at the plate. First offering to him. Stays a bit high for ball 1. The 1-0 towards Davis. Crank towards the shortstop, Culver. Tough play, the throw's in time. And Culver does a great job to tire J.R. Davis for out number 2. Difficult play, backhanded it, made a hard throw.
Number 21, Steven Sinsley.
Steven Sinsley, who's 0 for 1 on the game. A strikeout, a walk, and a sac fly RBI. Makes his way to the plate. 2 outs and nobody on. First offering to him here in the half inning. Stays low, ball 1. Very efficient thus far for Audie Nunez up there on the bump. The 1-0. Cranked towards right center field, but Mccuster seems to be underneath it. He chases in and brings it in. 4 out, number 3. Very quick half inning for the Otters. We've played through 7 full. Evansville still finds himself down 6 in this one. As we head to the top of the 8th inning, I want to remind you that Evansville Otters baseball on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports is presented by Bud Light. This Bud's for you. And we have a pitching change for the Otters. One of the new guys, Kevin Davis, is going to make another appearance up there. 6'9", 250 out of Orland Park. In his second appearance with the Otters. It's called a Wolfens, presented by our friends at Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. It's Davis on the mound. Felix behind the plate. That pitcher catcher battery is sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road, or give them a call at 812-475-9000. Mercer, Culver, and Bell due up in the half inning for Tri-City. Mercer has reached base all 3 times, twice on walks, once on a single. First option home. It's high outside, ball 1. Mercer hails from Johns Creek, Georgia. Really fought his way to his last walk in that last couple of innings. As the 1-0 comes towards him. Sent foul to the left side. It'll take a big jump back out onto the playing surface. The count's evened up at 1 ball, 1 strike. Davis has himself ready to go on the 1-1. It's half swung on towards Davis at third, and it's off his hand. It'll be an infield single for Jace Mercer. And never mind, it's actually an error. So because of the misplay on the third baseman, J.R. Davis, it will now mean that Cito Culver heads to the plate with a runner on and nobody out. Davis taking his time up there on the bump. First pitch home. It's called strike on the outside edge. Oh, 1 the count. Runner on first, nobody out. Sent chopping towards Jones at second. He'll take the sure thing out over at first and allow Mercer to reach second. Officially 4-3 on the fielder's choice there.
Number 9, Brantley Bell.
So now a runner in scoring position with 1 out. First pitch to Bell stays just a bit high and outside for ball 1. A 1-0 for Brantley Bell, one of the Frontier League's top hitters. It's off the handle of the bat towards the right side.
Brought to you by Hex Construction. Choose the best.
And this evens the count up to 1 ball, 1 strike.
Regret it.
One. Pitch coming home towards Bell. Stays high for ball 2. Looks like we have another final score here in the Frontier League. Washington hangs on to a 6-2 win against Quebec. They were able to grab a couple of runs of insurance there in the 8th, and that really helped solidify things. Big win for the Wild Things, who are starting to put themselves as the team to beat the Frontier League. 2-1 to Bell, high inside, and it's a 3-1 count. And we have gone final in Florence. The Sussex County Miners pick up a Game 1 win, 9-3 against the Yalls. And of course, Lake Erie defeated New Jersey a little bit ago, 5-2. 3-1, launch to left field. Rosario's going to go back and watch it go over the wall. A monster home run for Brantley Bell. 5 home runs now for the Tri-City ValleyCats in this one. I warned you, this is what this team does well, and they have proven it tonight. Make it 12-4 now in favor of the ValleyCats. And it's one of the quietest moments this stadium has felt all evening.
Third baseman 13, Paven Parks.
So Paven Parks makes his way to the plate. He helped start this big rush with a 2-run home run back in the 1st inning. First pitch home is strike 1, fell in there. Otters got themselves within 3 a couple innings ago. Kind of felt like, oh, maybe the Otters are going to be able to make a comeback in this one, and now suddenly they're back down by 8. The 0-1 towards Paven Parks. Hefty swinging strike 2. He falls back in the count 0-2 now. And Kevin Davis will look to, once again, grab the strikeouts. The 0-2 for Paven Parks. Kind of fouled off the handle of the bat, sent towards the left side. And living to see another pitch will be Parks. Nobody warming up for the Otters right now, but of course, like usual, there's a couple Otters that are just doing their normal stretching. So we could see another different Otter in this game on the mound. An 0-2, finally heading home towards Paven Parks. High outside, ball one. A little bit of a skew to the defense right now. So because of that, there is a pretty big gap between short and third over there on the left side. Also a decent-sized gap right up the middle. The 1-2 from Davis. Lifted high, foul to the left side. Davis is going to go rushing after it towards the warning track, but he runs out of room.
Overhead foul ball brought to you by Ed's Construction. Choose the best, never regret it.
That can get it a little bit confusing now with two Davises on this team, Davis the pitcher and Davis the third baseman. One ball, two strikes. Paven Parks trying to keep himself alive. Davis trying to snag out number two. The 1-2 stays high.
The Otters would like to welcome Pipes Gaines to his first game ever here at Fosse Field. Pipes is here with his grandfather, John. Let's give Pipes and John a big round of applause and welcome to Fosse Field.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Paven Parks. 1 out, nobody on. Ball's lifted foul. This one might be in play, but then it just kept carrying and carrying. And
so we're going to make a welcome to Pipes Gaines and his grandfather as well, John, who's with us here at Fosse Field this evening. That overhead foul ball brought to you by Ed's Construction. Choose the best, never regret it.
The 2-2 for Paven Parks, who has been great at keeping this long at bat alive. Ball works high and outside. The count's now full. Here in the top of the 8th inning, 2 runs have scored already for Tri-City on another home run. Davis ready on the bump for the payoff pitch to Paven Parks. High outside, ball 4, and it's a 1-out walk for Tri-City. Second walk of the day for Parks.
Designated hitter 12, Dennis Phipps.
So that'll bring up Dennis Phipps now, who in the game has been really the only quiet ValleyCat. 0 for 3 with a absolute robbery from Armstrong on one of his potential hits. One other count for Phipps. Long wait for Davis. He's checking on his runner over there at first. Finally, the 1-0 does come home, and it's swung on and missed for strike 1. The 1-1 for Phipps. Swinging strike 2. Big opportunity for Davis to grab himself a quality strikeout here. See what he can do on the 1-2 with 1 out and 1 on. Swinging strike 3 for Phipps.
That's a German American Bank strikeout.
That is the first German American Bank strikeout of the day.
First baseman
for
48,
Kevin Davis.
Brad Zunica.
Brad Zunica to the plate. His last time up hit a 2-run home run. One of 3 separate 2-run home runs tonight. It's a first pitch strike by Chris Davis. An 0-1. Pushed foul to the left side. Will get out of play off towards the parking lot here. Oh, 2 for Zunica. Zoomed to this right side. It's through for a base hit. Runners will only advance 90, and they're at first and second with 2 outs.
The catcher, 16, Joey and Adcock.
Well, the Otters have put together lots of hits. They're just behind in that category 10-7, but the difference being Tri-City's hits have been over the wall, and Evansville's have been in the yard, and Evansville hasn't really been able to link a bunch of them together. First pitch to Campagna, high and inside, ball 1. He just barely gets out of the way. A 1-0 for Joey Campagna. High yet again. And a long wait before the next pitch as things start to calm down a little bit. Two 2-0 comes home. Ball 3 high. So Davis now has to put something close and be careful it's not too good. 3-0, it's high, ball 4, and the bases are loaded with 2 outs. Otters will have to start to look forward to tomorrow night and what they can do a little bit different to get themselves back on some winning ways. Quick meeting at the mound by all the infielders. Good to see them take matters in their own hands to figure out what they need to get done. Meeting is done. We're ready to restart things. Jesus Lujano has 2 hits in the game, including a home run back in the second. First pitch home to him in this scenario. High outside, ball 1. Otters are quickly warming someone else up. At first glance, I think it's Steve Pastora. Indeed it is. Recognize the windup from anywhere. The 1-0 for Jesus Lujano. Falls in for a called strike 1. Counts even at 1 ball, 1 strike. Davis desperately needs to get this third out and get himself out of the inning before any more damage is done. A 1-1 for Jesus Lujano. Sent bouncing towards the right side. Picked up by Dones. He'll fire to first to get the final out, but not before 2 more runs score for Tri-City off another 2-run home run. We head to the bottom half of the 8th. Otters trail by 8. Bottom half of the 8th inning, Otters trail by 8. And it'll be Baez, Bierman, and Felix who they hope to start a comeback. They've got a lot of work to do and not very much time. It's down to their last 6 offensive outs now. Long wait for Baez to get himself up on the bump. First pitch is a called strike 1. Hammered ball into left field, down for extra bases. There goes Baez around first. He's plugging towards second. It is a stand-up double to lead off the half inning for Jeffrey Baez.
That's a deer head double tacker double.
Important extra base hit there.
Designated hitter 45, Zach Bierman.
So it brings up Zach Bierman with a runner on and nobody out. Chance to help the Otters at least claw a little bit closer. First pitch to Bierman, right there at the elbows for a called strike 1. Good competitive pitch there. Bottom half of the 8th here. Evansville trails by 8. 0-1 to Bierman. Zoomed right back up the middle, off the glove. Nunez for a second to throw to first. Is it in time? I don't think so. No, it's not. Bierman just legs out an infield single. And there's runners on the corners now with no outs. And it looks like that could be it for Adi Nunez. Indeed, it will be. We'll let you know who the new pitcher is for Tri-City right after this. Evansville trying to do something here in the late stages of this one. Pitching change for Tri-City, and it'll be the new guy, Jake Dexter, who gets the nod out of the bullpen. Just signed today. And out of the bullpen, like the rest of them, are sponsored by our friends at Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. It is Dexter on the mound, Campagna behind the plate. That pitcher catcher battery is sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road, or give them a call at 812-475-9000. Otters have runners on the corners with no outs, with Justin Felix heading to the plate. Felix so far on the day, 1 for 3 with a double and a pair of strikeouts. His double was a fluke play, too.
Justin Felix.
Flied up right there at the first base area. The first baseman, Zunica, lost it in the air. By the time it came down, Felix had lugged his way all the way around to second. Got himself a base hit on the mental miscue. First pitch to Felix stays outside, ball 1. A 1-0 to Felix. Stays low and outside for ball 2. Don't forget, these two squads play again tomorrow night. Jose Cruz on the bump for Tri-City, while Austin Gossman will man the mound for Evansville. First pitch is scheduled for 6:35 on Christmas from July here. I'm sure our good friend John L. Smith here on our broadcasting crew will be happy to celebrate that alongside us. 2-0, the count on Justin Felix. Half swing, and he lays off for ball 3. Good work for him. Essentially a pitch away from loading the bases. Then the series wraps up on Sunday, 5:05 first pitch. Olbis Parra mans the mound for Tri-City. Ryan O'Reilly on the bump for Evansville. 3-0 to Felix. Called strike 1 on the inside edge. Sunday is a dog days of summer, so just like every Sunday game, you can bring your four-legged friend out with you to the ballpark. It's actually the last 5:05 Sunday game of the season here for Evansville. The last 2 Sunday home games will be 12:05 first pitch. Make sure you mark that on the calendar. A 3-1 to Felix. Outside ball 4. The bases are loaded with no outs. Unfortunately for the Otters, they're so far down right now that it's hard for them to turn this into real positivity. So they've got to not only bring some runners in here, but keep it going to get themselves a little closer in this ballgame.
Left fielder
Brian Rosario makes his way to the plate. He has 2 singles already in this game. Rosario scored back in the 5th inning. He was part of Miles Gordon's bases clearing triple. Steve Pastora continues to throw for the Otters down in the right field bullpen. First pitch home is fouled off to the left side, ball 1. Rosario officially a switch hitter, but he's batting as a lefty currently. An 0-1, sent chopping towards the right side. Will it get fouled? No, it's picked up by the first baseman, Zunica. And it'll be an RBI fielder's choice for Brian Rosario. Officially 3 unassisted. But a run does score. Everyone moves forward 90 feet.
Number 8, Andy
And it
Armstrong.
brings Evansville 1 run closer. So Andy Armstrong at the plate now. 1 base hit for him so far in the game, alongside 2 fielder's choices that have gone right back up to the pitcher. One ball, no strike. So Andy Armstrong, big RBI chance for him. It does fall out of the zone, and Armstrong takes a 2-0 count. A 2-0. That one catch the zone? No, it didn't. That one was the closest one thus far, but Armstrong has himself way ahead of the count. Able to catch the zone now finally is Jake Dexter on the inside edge. The count's at 3-1. Another man is starting to warm up for Tri-City down there in the bullpen. (3-1) to Armstrong. Foul tip towards the glove of Campagna. And it's a full count for this shortstop. Andy Armstrong, just about said second baseman. That's where he played most of the year. Big time opportunity for Andy Armstrong to grab a couple RBIs, and even if the Otters still end up losing the game, just getting himself back on a good groove. Another foul tip, this one straight backwards. Three-two. Sent chopping towards the shortstop, Culver. He plays it on two hops. The throw to first is in time. And another run scores on a fielder's choice. This one 6-3. And the Otters have brought it back to within 6.
Second baseman, number 18, Tyler Jones.
But unfortunately, it looks like all those home runs are really starting to add up. Ball fouled off to the right side to start off the count for Tyler Jones, as he heads to the plate with 2 outs and a runner at third. Evansville scored 2 here in the bottom of the 8th. Certainly not enough yet, though. Ball stays inside. The count evens up at 1-1. Almost forgot to mention all the people enjoying their evening out there on the Corona patio deck. That could be you at an Evansville Otters home game, by the way. Just contact our front office and they can help pick out the perfect night to bring your friends, families, coworkers, anyone out to either one of the patio deck or the picnic decks or our Corona patio deck. 1-2 the count to Jones with 2 outs and a runner at third. There they are, our friends out there on the Corona patio deck. Another thank you to our outstanding Otters Digital Network crew. A 1-2 to Jones. Barely fouled back up over top of the seating area here. Jones will live to see another pitch. Still at 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. The former Indiana Hoosier, Tyler Jones. Zoomed out into left field, down for a base hit. Could be extra bases for Jones. There he goes towards second. The throw in. Is it in time? No, it is not. RBI double for Tyler Jones. And both of Jones' career base hits have RBIs attached to them. And the Otters bring themselves one more run closer. And it looks like we could have a pitching change here, as the day will end early for Jake Dexter, the brand new ValleyCat as of today. His day will end. We'll let you know who's coming in for him right after this on the Otters Digital Network. Evansville trying to make a push back into this one. Call to the bullpen for Tri-City. Adam Hofakit will try to keep this game where it's at and try to halt this big Evansville run that the Otters are trying to put together. It's called the bullpen. It's presented by our friends at Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. It's Adam Hofakit on the mound, Campagna behind the plate. That pitcher catcher battery is sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North River Road. Give them a call at 812-475-9000. Edward Jones, leadoff hitter of the game. Miles Gordon makes his way to the plate. Already has a big RBI hit in this game with a bases clearing triple back in the 5th. A big hit here to bring in another run would be huge for the Otters to just keep working into this game. We put them down by just 4. First pitch home. Gordon watches it go by outside for ball 1. The 1-0 to Gordon. Another check swing. It stays outside, ball 2. Miles Gordon ahead in the count, 2-0. Cranks a ball foul to the left side. It will get well out of play. And the count will fall to 2-1. Two and 1 to Miles Gordon with 2 outs and a runner at second. Beautiful pitch falls in for strike 2. And Adam Hofakit has himself a pitch away potentially from ending this inning. Evansville's trying to make a push, but Tri-City's trying to keep it where it's at. 2-2. Gordon half swings and just fouls the pitch off to the left side. We'll do it all again. Regardless, it has been a beautiful night here in Evansville. As the 2-2 comes home to Gordon. Pushed off foul again. He'll live to see another pitch. First pitch time, or first pitch temperature was 81 degrees, and it has fallen down nicely to about 71 now. Beautiful night for baseball. The Otters are trying to make a comeback. We also celebrated Gil Hodges this evening. 2-2 to Gordon. Swinging, strike 3, and the inning will end. But Evansville is able to grab 3 runs and bring themselves a little closer. They've still got work to do as we head to the bottom or to the top of the 9th inning. It's 12-7 ValleyCats. To the 9th inning we go. Evansville still behind in this one. Deficit down to 5 after they score 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th. They're going to ask Steve Pastora to come in the 9th inning and keep this game where it's at. Pastora, a man who started out when he came off the IL as a starter for the Otters, and now he's found time in the bullpen as more a relief guy. Pastora last appeared 2 nights ago in that last game against New York, where he gave up 2 runs on 3 hits and 2 1/3 innings of work. He'll look to keep this game where it's at this evening. The Scalded Bullpen is presented by our friends at Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. Pastora on the mound. And behind the plate is actually Jacob Bisharots. Bisharot making his Otters debut here in the 9th inning. The pitcher catcher battery is sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East. Get at 2319 North Green River Road. Call it 812-475-9000.
Bisharot. Answer Auto Repair East, 2319 North Green River Road.
Bisharot was signed just a couple of days ago, and now here he is making his professional debut. Former Purdue guy. So Pastor is ready to go up on the bump.
Leading off, right fielder 33, Carson Mccuster.
And Carson Mccuster will lead things off. He'll be followed by Jace Mercer and Cito Culver here in the top of the 9th inning. First pitch home is high and inside, ball 1. Defense is pulled significantly to the left side. Swinging strike as even the count up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Pastor ready to go on the 1-1. No outs, nobody on here in the 9th. It's a swinging strike 2 that has Mccuster ahead in the count now. On deck is Jace Mercer, who's reached base all 4 times tonight. 1-2 to Mccuster. Bit outside, ball 2, and the count evens up. No rain in the forecast, at least doesn't look like it tomorrow, so I hope that you come out and enjoy a beautiful night at the ballpark tomorrow night as we celebrate Christmas in July here at Bosse Field. 2-2 is put in play towards the right side, but foul will get out of play and will keep the game at a 2-2 count. Elijah McNamee having a good time with some of the fans here in the top of the 9th inning. Otters trail by 5 currently. A 2-2 to Mccuster. Stays low, ball 3, and we've got a full count. That's one thing you can definitely tip your cap at. This ValleyCats team does a great job of working counts a long time, making these at-bats last a while, working up the pitch counts of pitchers quite quickly. A 3-2 payoff pitch coming home from Steve Pastora. Called strike 3. And a German-American Bank strikeout kicks off the 9th inning.
Strikeout. This is number 7, second baseman Jace
To the 9-hole
Mercer.
we go. Second baseman Jace Mercer, who has reached base all 4 times. The only Tri-City man to reach in every appearance thus far. He's got 2 walks, reached on an air, and reached on a single. He's scored 2 times as well. He's a switch hitter. Batting is a lefty tonight. Pastora ready on the first pitch home. Swinging strike 1. Hefty swinging strike 1 for Mercer. Otters are going to have Davis, Sinsley, and Baez due up in the bottom half of the 9th. The 0-1 to Jace Mercer. Stays high for ball 1. Count evens up 1-1. A 1-1 high inside and actually hits Mercer on the shoulder, maybe on the helmet even. And he's reached base all 5 times this evening.
Back to the top of the order, our Booster Lottery strikeout batter of the game.
So we head to the top of the order where shortstop Cito Culver heads to the plate. Culver reached all the way back in the first on a home run, then reached on an error in the fourth. First pitch homes outside for ball 1. Pastora falls back in the count 1-0 with 1 out and a runner on. This game just passing the 3.5-hour mark. 1-0, high outside, ball 2. Defense set up with a bit of a shift to the right side, expecting Culver to pull that way. 1 out, runner on first as the 2-0 heads home to Cito Culver. Swinging strike 1. Brings a bit of applause from the Boston Field crowd. The count goes to 2-1. Long wait for Pastor to get set up on the bump, but look over towards first. And here comes the 2-1. Runner thought about going out there as Mercer got a good extra couple of steps after the throw, but decided to stick there at first. 3-1. Now the count's Culver. On the way, it's high outside again, and it's ball 4. There's now runners at first and second. So that brings up the Frontier League's 3rd highest batting average man, Brantley Bell.
Left fielder 9, Brantley Bell.
With just 1 out, runners at first and second here in the top of the 9th inning. Tri-City holding on to a 5-run lead. Otters going to have a quick meeting between the pitcher and catcher battery. Very quick. (12-7) our score in favor of Tri-City. They've hit 5 separate home runs tonight by 5 separate batters. And that's been majorly helpful in staying ahead in this game. We've now got runners at first and second, just 1 out. Pitch comes home as a called strike 1 to Brantley Bell. Bell on the day has picked up 2 hits and 2 free passes. Was hit by a pitch in the first, scored on a 2-run home run. Then added a single, an RBI walk, and a 2-run home run to his day. And that's a quick second strike, and now Steve Pastora has himself in a place where he could grab an out here. 0-2 the count for Bell. And Pastora kicks and delivers. Stays a bit high. Runners at first and second, just 1 out. The 1-2 towards Bell. Bounces in for ball 2. Long wait for Pastor. Now he's ready to go on the 2-2 to Brantley Bell. A half swing. They check down at the first base umpire, who says no, he did not, and will have a full count offering. Runners at first and second. One out. Payoff pitch to Bell, and it's sent back into the netting via foul ball. They'll live to see another one. Steve Pastora just trying to put together a strong outing here in the ninth inning. Ruby might be the man for the job going forward. A 3-2 high, ball four. The bases are loaded with one out. Bases have now been loaded in back-to-back innings. And for the third time tonight.
The team, Haven Parks.
Worst part about it for the Otters is they're not getting loaded off singles and hits. They're getting loaded off the walks and the hit by pitches. It's these free offerings that are giving these opposing teams opportunities. And it's been the big Achilles heel for the Otters recently. It's giving up the free offerings just a little too much. First pitch to Parks, a half swing. It stays high for ball one. Bases are jammed with just one out. There's no place to put a guy. Pastora's gonna have to get an out. The 1-0's good for a called strike on the outside edge. Another one of those rare outside strikes we have not seen many of tonight. The 1-1. Parks sends it right at Armstrong at short. He'll play it on a line and have no other play. At least they get one out. So with two outs, the bases loaded now, Dennis Phipps heads to the plate. Though every single ValleyCat has found a way to get on base now in the game, Phipps is one of the few without a hit. He had one robbed in the third inning by Andy Armstrong. Made an outstanding play. First pitch home to Phipps. Good for a called strike just underneath the elbows. And Phipps turns back towards home plate umpire and holds his hand up like that was a bit high. Pastora ready to go on the 0-1 to Dennis Phipps. It bounces in for ball one, but able to keep it close is Bisharat in order to keep the runner there at third. Phipps, the number one RBI man in the Frontier League, as the bases loaded and two outs. A 1-1 bounces in again. Pastora looking in for the 2-1. Has his sign. And the 2-1's good for a called strike, too. And Phipps is beside himself. He can't believe it was called strike. Deuces are wild now on the 2-2. Another two games went final, by the way. Ottawa defeated Schaumburg 9-1. Trois Riviere had a little bit of adversity, was able to get it done. A 6-5 win at Joliet. And actually another one just now went final. Empire State defeats Windy City 10-4. So the Grays will not be eliminated from contention tonight. Pitch stays a bit low for ball three as the strike zone seems to have shrunk a little bit recently. And now it's a full count with two outs, bases loaded. Pastora has to get a strike here. New York and Gateway, by the way, have scored a combined 30 runs. It's 17-13 New York. 3-2 to Phipps. Outside ball four. Another run walks home. It's an RBI walk for Phipps. Takes Bell to second, Culver
First
to
baseman,
third,
48,
and brings Mercer
Brad
home.
Zunica.
And it's now a 13-7 advantage for the ValleyCats. Bases stay juiced. 2 outs, and Brad Zunica at the plate. First pitch is a strike on the inside edge. Zunica thought it was a little too far inside. Defense is now playing straight up all the way around because they still just need that one last out. The 0-1 pushed foul towards the parking lot on the left
I'm here
side.
to tell you that overhead foul ball is brought to you by X Construction. That's right, buddy. Choose the best. Never regret it.
Quickly 0-2 for Zunica would be a huge strikeout for Pastora to get himself out of this jam. So now the 0-2 will head home. And it stays low and inside for ball 1. Good stop from Bisharat to keep it in front of him. And now Zunica heads back to the plate. 1-2 the count. 2 outs, bases loaded. Pastora just needs 1. Big pitch from Pastora on the 1-2. Outside, maybe a bit high as well. Deuces are wild once again, 2-2. So the only other game going on right now is still this New York Gateway game. They're in the top of the 9th inning. Another pitch high and outside by Pastora, and the count is full for Brad Zunica. A lot of fans have left now that it's getting towards the 10:30 hour. The announced attendance just under 2,000 tonight on Gil Hodges night here from Bossy Field. A 3-2 to Zunica. Cranked out towards right center field. Long run for Gordon. He dives, and he makes the catch. Otters are able to get themselves out of this inning. Could have easily been extra runners coming home. But with it, we head to the bottom of the 9th. Otters will have to score 6 runs to keep this game going. To the bottom of the 9th we go, where the Otters are going to need at least 6 runs to keep this game going. And they will have to face Brock Warren of the Tri-City ValleyCats. It's called to the Bullpens, presented by our friends at Business Communication Solution. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. It's Warren on the mound and a new catcher, Austin Elder, behind the plate. The pitcher-catcher battery is sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road. Give them a call, 812-475-9000. Let them know that J.R. Davis sent you. It's J.R. Davis, Steven Sinsley, and Jeffrey Baez who will have to be the three that give Evansville some life. J.R. Davis, no hit yet today. 2 ground outs, a pop out, and a fly out. He and Sinsley are the only 2 without base hits for Evansville this evening. Long wait for Warren. Finally has the sign he likes. Fires on the first pitch to J.R. Davis. He takes a called strike on the high inside corner. He turned away thinking it was a ball. I think he thought it was a ball until just now when he turned around and said, wait, you called that a strike? So Davis already a bit frustrated at the plate. The 1-0 for J.R. Davis. And it is fouled back into the netting. Count evens up to 1 ball, 1 strike.
I'm not doing this thing.
No outs. Bases are empty. Evansville needs 6 to tie, 7 to win. Warren taking his time looking in. Has what he wants before the 1-1. It's again fouled back into the netting. And because of it, Davis now finds himself back 2 strikes. Davis takes his time to step back in. 1-2 is count. And stepping off is Brock Warren. One ball, 2 strikes. Bases are empty, no outs here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Ends with a lot of work to do. Big curveballs put off towards Mercer at second. He'll play it off the ground to first in time for out number 1. Officially 4-3 on the putout. It'll bring up Steven Sinsley, the first baseman, who walked once, brought in a run with a sacrifice fly. Otherwise, he's 0 for 2 with the strikeout and the flyout. Sinsley has had a couple opportunities with runners in scoring position. Now he's looking to be the one to get on base, and then people come behind him. First pitch home. Works a bit outside, ball 1. One ball, no strikes to Steven Sinsley with 1 out. Hefty swinging strike 1 evens the count up. I want to take a look through the upcoming schedule for Evansville, knowing that they are, of course, going to finish this 3-game set against Tri-City. Then they're on the road to take on the Lake Erie Crushers, who look red hot right now. All 3 of those games available on Flow Sports and on the Otters Digital Network. And then the team's right back home next weekend to face Gateway. 1-1 works high outside for ball 2. How about that future schedule for the Tri-City ValleyCats, who, of course, will also conclude this 3-game set this weekend before taking their off day as they head back home, back into East Divisional play. The 2-1 comes home to Sinsley. It's fouled off to the left side, giving the count up.
Red Ball brought to you by Ed's Construction. Choose the best. Never regret it.
2 balls, 2 strikes for Steven Sinsley with 1 out, nobody on. They're in the bottom of the 9th. The 2-2 low inside. Sinsley's just able to get his ankles out of the way as the count goes to full. 3 balls, 2 strikes for Steven Sensley. 1 out. Nobody on here in the bottom of the 9th. Evansville's really been killed by the long ball tonight. Because of it, they've had to work from behind all night long. Steven says he's going to get himself a 1-out walk and at least try to start a potential rally for Evansville. They're going to need a lot back to back to back here. Jeffrey Baez, who's 1 for 4 on the day, back to the plate now. He doubled to kick off last inning. Evansville went on to score 3 runs. And funny enough for Evansville, they got their first 3 men on, 2 of them with base hits, but then it was back-to-back fielders' choices that scored 2 runs. First pitch is fouled off to the right side by Baez. He falls back to
brought to you by Hess Construction. Choose the best, never regret it.
Evansville right back at it tomorrow night against this Tri-City team. First pitch is scheduled for 6:35. An 0-1 sent home towards Jeffrey Baez. Right back into the netting. And Baez is back a couple. No balls, 2 strikes to Jeffrey Baez. Runner at first, 1 out, bottom of the 9th. Ball's bounced in, gets all the way back to the netting, and because of it, Sensley's going to get himself second base for free on the wild pitch. Checking in on New York Gateway. They're in the bottom of the 9th now. It remains 17-13 in favor of New York. And the Grizzlies are down to their last 2 outs. Other than that, everybody else is concluded except for our game here. 1-2 for Baez. Pushed off to the right side, and Mercer. He plays it off the ground to first for out number 2. Sensley advances to third, and Evansville's down to their last out. Zach Bierman will be the man to make his way to the plate. He has 3 hits in this game, all 3 singles. He just scored 1 time. First pitch home to Zach Bierman is fouled right back into the mask and off the mask of Elder. And the count falls to 0-1. Game is now just 8 minutes shy of the 4-hour mark. The 0-1 to Zach Bierman. Swinging strike 2, and Evansville's down to their last strike now. Bierman digs back in, looking at an 0-2, with 2 outs and a runner on third. 0-2 is fouled off towards the netting on the left side. Nice play made by the ball boy to snag that one out of the airs. Count remains at 0-2. Brock Warren's going to try again to end this one. The 0-2 just missed with that pitch. And it's ball 1 for Bierman. Good eye. That's a hard one to lay off, but Bierman able to see another pitch now. Big gap to the left side. They're expecting Bierman to pull. The 1-2 swinging strike 3. Evansville's going to fall in this one, 13-7. The home run ball is really what won this game for Tri-City. They end up winning this one off the bat. So 5 home runs. Because of it, Austin Faith is going to get his first win of the year, advanced to 1-1 this season. On the other side of things, Brett Adcock falls for the 3rd time this season. Falls to 4-3. Evansville had some strong offensive work in this one, but ended up just a little bit shy, as every time it seemed like they got themselves some positive momentum, right back at you, said Tri-City, and they scored 3 or 4 to back it right back up. So Evansville had to find ways, I think, going into the rest of the series to be a little more efficient in the closeout innings, making sure you're backing up your own offense with strong defensive innings, and giving yourself a chance to stay in ball games. And of course, just about every time the Otters had a bad loss here in the last week or so, it's because of those first inning runs, which they gave up 3 of them tonight. If Evansville can find a way to start to limit those early runs and give themselves a chance to be the team who scores first, well, I think you're going to start to see some of these hard losses turn into some gritty wins. And Evansville's going to need it down the stretch. They are helped by the fact that Schaumburg lost tonight, so they keep their gap to third place. But just got to keep an eye on things, as Evansville does not want to fall too far away from the top of the pack here in the West Division. Washington got a big win against Quebec. And in our game, Evansville falls with a tough luck score 13-7 to Tri-City. 5 home runs for Tri-City did it in, including 3 of the 5 being for extra runs, 2-run home runs on 3 of those. That really helped Tri-City run away in this ballgame. For all of us here at the Evansville Otters, I've been Matthew Will saying so long from Evansville. I'll talk to you tomorrow night as the ValleyCats and Otters face off in the middle game of a 3-game set. Should be fun. 6:35. Talk to you tomorrow.